Just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Jay Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her and I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the
Good
show.
show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Monday, July 15th. We got a big show today. Baseball seems to never stop. Baseball kind of feels like they're starting to have more hype to it.
Feel.
Yeah, it's all a year-round kind of thing with the portal, and obviously the draft is going on right now. We're going to talk a little bit about how we feel like LSU has fared in the draft. I personally think they've done quite well. They've gotten some guys that maybe they weren't sure they were going to get. Come from the recruiting side, and then I think maybe some guys that are going to turn to school that are already here that maybe they didn't think they were also going to get back. Seems like they're going to get those guys too. So great get. We have special guests in the studio who was part of that 2024 class, right? This would be the 2024 class. We're going to get a little inside information into how he was thinking and what went into the decision. We're going to recap the rest of the draft, day 1, day 2, who went, who didn't go. We're going to talk a little smudge at the end about Smidge. About
Smudge.
a smudge, a smidge, same thing, right?
No.
No?
You like smudge a pen.
Yeah.
Okay. A smidge.
Like if you have
A smidge?
If you have dirt on your face.
I think you like
Smudge.
smudge your clothes that you forgot.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little
Smudge,
smidge.
you know,
A
we'll
little
smudge it.
a little
We'll
smidge smudge.
We'll smudge it.
We're gonna have a little smidge at the end. A little bit about college football. SEC Media Day 1 is today.
He's getting racked
And,
by Aaron Beatty right now. It's still in his brain.
No, I got it now. Big getting Aaron Beatty to come
There
to
you
school.
go.
Put his name out of the draft. Yeah. We're gonna talk and look. If you didn't know, because they don't really do a good job promoting it, it is the home run derby is tonight. So if you want to see some baseball and you see balls go really
You
far,
see some kids die.
yeah, maybe see some kids get their heads taken off. But y'all don't hear me talk or misspell words or mispronounce the word that I was trying to say. Y'all are here to see our next guest, Baton Rouge native, highest recruit ever in the history of LSU to come to campus, William Schmidt. Can I call you Schmitty? William?
Wild Bill.
Whatever.
Welcome to the show, man.
Just don't call me Will. My mom doesn't like that.
Not Will. Look, actually, you'll like this. In our little document thing,
All right.
it's shared. It said Will Schmidt. I changed it to William.
There you
Because
go.
I was like, I can't assume that he likes Will. Nicholas Castellanos went by Nick by default, and he hated it and tried to go by Nicholas. Didn't work.
That's a tough one. To
Which,
beat.
by the way, before we get to your interview, I'm sorry, he did it again.
He did.
Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
I do.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Wow, what a...
I'm
So,
kind of
straight shooter.
butthurt over here. I'm back on junior high with holding my mic like this.
Tape it
Like,
to your arm.
No, you're
whenever
good.
he brings me on, it's like I said, it's
Oh,
like the guy.
here we go. You're not the star of the show.
It's
He's the
like
star of
I
the
know
show.
he is the star of the
I'll
show,
hold
but
it
of
if you
course
want.
you give
Look,
me
see,
this
he's
mic.
being
Look,
look
teammate.
at that. Great 8.
You wanna
So
switch
I
sides?
just
Yeah.
hold it. I'll talk it to him.
Closer. Farther
No,
away.
I'm just. It's okay. I'll sit here and hold it. It looks kind of funny, but
It looks fine. I think you're being a little self-conscious
Yeah.
on this. You could have given you the small mic.
right.
You know what I mean?
I don't-
Coulda- you
But-
could have had no mic
Since
at
you
all.
don't know, since you know what we're talking about, Nick Castellanos is notorious for something major and kind of depressing happens. Like if somebody's passing away and the guy who's commenting game says, you know, I just want to give a condolences to the family of blah, 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 passed away last night. And Nick Castellanos with a home run. He's done that like 7 times. Right? It's like in this somber moment, the announcer has to go from, damn, this is depressing, to I have to be excited for a home run. It's just a weird thing. He did it again whenever President Trump, the attempted assassination on President Trump. They were announcing it. As they were announcing it, he hit a home run.
Wow.
It's the second
It's
shooter.
just a
Trump-
wild deal,
I
dude.
think Trump would have appreciated that. Though.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Wild thing.
Trump don't want to make it about himself.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
wild deal that he goes through. So I understand between the Nick and the Nicholas and the Will and the William. What else was wild, which I would imagine, was yesterday. It was a big day for you, right? You made a huge decision. You decided to come back to LSU, which we all love, and I know the fans all love it. What went into that decision, and how was like the day? Like, was it? Yeah. Like, I mean,
The last 48
I
hours.
can't imagine like the feeling of like, damn, am I gonna like when I got drafted my junior year, I knew that I was probably gone.
Right.
99% sure I was gone. Same with him. Like, I didn't get drafted out of high school saying maybe I'm not gone. I don't know. Give me a little insight into the day.
So probably got like 2 hours of sleep. I was sleeping. I was at the LSU dorm and I didn't bring any sheets, so I just had a pillow and a blanket.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You were college ready.
You were getting William was getting ready for the minor league
need.
life.
Well,
I
Ready
don't
for
know.
the minors, yeah.
One of the two. He's either ready for college or getting ready for the minor league life. I don't know. But go ahead. Sorry.
The reason I didn't have sheets, I don't want to get too deep, but my first morning there, like I didn't really bring that much with me. I woke up in the morning, first breakfast, I take a shower and I get out the shower and I go, uh-oh. I didn't bring a towel. So I walked.
Innovate, look, adapt and overcome. Adapt and overcome. No, that's a great deal.
Just fine.
There's an issue, and what's the problem? He figured out a solution to the problem.
Right.
So I waddled to my bed and grabbed the sheets and dried them off and hung them on the towel rack, and I haven't used them since. So I've been chilling with a blanket and a pillow.
Damn.
You
Okay,
kind
so
of
you're
you may have
sleeping-
invented something new here.
You're sleeping, yeah.
Like a
It probably felt better.
yeah, like a new robe.
No.
So you're going through that. You're sleeping on the sheets. No mat. I mean, no comforter. Nothing. And then what happens? Like the day, obviously, the whole day, you've got to be pretty
Yeah.
anxious.
Woke up. I drove home, like 4-minute drive home. Ate a bowl of cereal, and then
Grabbed a towel.
Yeah. Showered with a towel this time, and then I met with my parents in the living room for like one last talk, like deciding like what we're gonna do. And like I'd kind of had my mind made up for a little bit, but like I was just still like keeping my options open, like
Of
because
course.
I mean you never know.
Yeah. That's I think everybody would say that's a smart thing to do, right? Like, hey, it's the biggest decision in your life up to this point, and I'm gonna give the respect to the decision, saying I'm gonna see out all the options. You know, because you just don't know whatever's gonna happen in that moment. Maybe you change your mind. Who knows? I mean, I'm all for that. Jay, you got one?
Yeah, I want to know. So, like, you kind of said you had it made up in your mind already, but options are still open.
Right.
So I can take myself back to that day, and I can remember I got a call from a team that says, hey, you're at this spot on our board. We have this and this person in front of you. If you're available and they're not there, we'll take you at this spot. I got a call. One of them goes earlier. One of them still on the board like 5 picks before. He's still on the board at their pick. They pick him. They call me and say, well, I'll take X amount in the second round. I said no. I went to sleep. I woke up drafted in the 10th round. So I know what that feels like when you're like, all right, I'm out on this. But when did this really become like a real thing in your mind where you're like, I think this route, meaning LSU, is going to be the route for me as opposed to anything else?
Probably when I was born. I was born. I was born in the LSU clothing. Like my baby pictures are all LSU baby pictures. But really, like within the last week, because like I wouldn't say I was procrastinating my decision, but like I was just keeping my options open. So like I was getting insight on really like everything, and it was just making the decision tougher and tougher for me. So I wouldn't say like to the last week to where like I really put a lot of thought into it and didn't get much sleep because, I mean, it was the hardest decision I've ever made as an 18-year-old.
So that's funny. I want to know what this was like for you because I know how some things that happen, it becomes like sensory overload in a way. Like I know you probably may have had the graphic before, but as you're like typing this tweet out, did you like put the tweet out and just like get this phone off?
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Like, how did
you
that
press
go?
it. You press it.
I don't want it. Just leave it alone. I don't want it.
Go to sleep.
Well, like, so I was going to have like a few people over for like a draft party, and then I decided to pull my name out. So like I moved it up 2 hours, and I was in my dorm at like 3 o'clock, and I had to go pick up my roommate, and I had to go do a few other things. So like I was literally texting and driving like, and I just hit post and I like turned my music back on and kept going with my thing.
Forget about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I was like, I didn't know what to post. Like, cause I've seen like some people that pull their name out or like they don't get drafted and they just post like maybe like an emoji or like a funny picture. So like, I was like, my mom was like, what are you gonna post? I was like, I sent her a picture of Tiger King, and I was like, I don't know, like, what should I post? And then she like, all right, give me 5 minutes, and she made something and sent it to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
I just did
Wait,
that.
tell me, do you have CarPlay?
I do.
Is this not popping up? You didn't have notifications?
Yeah.
Just on this thing all day.
I think it's kind of like the magnitude of what your decision had on the age group in Baton Rouge from guys that are 18 to 60 years old is honestly hilarious. Like, no matter where I went, if it was a dad 40, 50 years old, hey, what do you think that Schmidt kid's going to do? I mean, for like the past 3 months. I'd be like, I don't know. I know just as much as you do. Like, I guess you'll find out at the same time as me.
To sidebar that for
Like-
anyone who's watching, if you haven't seen it yet, just please go take a look at LSU Barstool's post when they found out he was coming here.
Right. No, but seriously, I was talking at his draft party. I was talking to one of his buddies, and he was like, "Yeah, I was at Baton Rouge Country Club the other day, and I had like 6 dads come up and ask me, like, hey, what's William gonna do?' And it's like, I don't know, but
it's
like
invested. That's what makes it so great to play baseball here.
No doubt, and that just shows the magnitude of like man, it's like he said, like I've been a Tiger since I was born. It's really that's the answer to the decision. It's like those guys that care that much about this program, that's me.
Right.
You know, I mean that speaks volumes, and for 3 guys that have played there, it's like
no doubt.
Man, that's why it's kind of like some people don't understand the decision. It's like, well, you can't even understand it because you don't know what it's about.
You don't look at it from that way.
You don't look at it from that view.
Right.
You're the only one with the experience, anything close to what he's about to have, in the sense of like, I'm not going to give away your longitude or latitude of where you live and where you grew up at, but let's be honest, when it comes springtime, like if you wanted to spend the night at home, you could take a bike ride to the ballpark and not break a sweat. Right. What does that feel like? Because none of us had that feeling. We were not here. You're here. You know what I mean?
Definitely plays a big part in it. Like just knowing what like LSU baseball is all about. Like I don't know if I was even born when y'all were playing. I don't know how old y'all are, but I'm out on you, bro.
When were you born?
05.
Yeah. You know, we'll talk about it.
That's why you went LSU closed.
I mean, y'all were getting recruited by LSU in 05?
No, he was.
You were.
Yeah.
You were in 8 when you were
a
freshman?
in high school.
Yeah. You weren't on the map yet.
Nah. Oh, I didn't even know I was going to do baseball.
Yeah, anyway, like I grew up going to all the games, and like even like 2 years ago when Schemes was here, like I tried to make every SEC start that he played at home, and like it's just where I want it to be.
So take me through this. You say I'm gonna take my name out of the draft. How does that go? What did you call the commissioner and say, "Hey, I'm out," or is your agent doing
Big Rob?
Dude, well, so I called Coach Johnson, and then I had to send an email saying like, "Don't draft me." It's like you don't quote me, but I don't think like you pull your name out. I think it's just like
don't draft
me. Yeah,
that's
like,
what honestly I was gonna ask that
yeah.
question because just recently over the last few years you've heard of people, I'm taking my name out of the draft. It used to just be I'm unsignable, don't sign me. Like it's not announced, but people are saying they removed themselves. So I didn't know if they changed it with the new CBA, but I think that you're right. It's just hey, you just don't draft me, type of thing. And so you. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You talked about calling Coach Johnson. Like, obviously, the story Koki put out was like he didn't even believe you when you called him. He's like, "Wait, are you for real? Like, you're coming?" You're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm coming. I'm trying to tell you right now." And he was like, "Unbelievable news."
I'm curious too, because like, I'm not saying he tried to talk you out of it because that's obviously not what he's trying to do. But did he have a conversation about like, you know, I guess the magnitude of the decision that you're making?
I talked to him, but like he didn't try to convince me in any way.
Yeah.
He said like I'm happy either way. Like you're in a good position. It's a win-win type thing. Just like praying for you and like you're gonna make the right decision. And like honestly, like based off his reaction, I didn't think he knew like I was gonna do it.
He didn't think he wasn't sure. Yeah.
That's good.
Whoa.
And then it comes out and it was a real thing. And he's like,
probably put the phone down. He's like,
damn, he's serious.
Where's that tiger emoji?
Yeah. So So you're
glass
gonna
orange
be
juice.
here, right? Yeah. Okay.
Man, I knew you were coming, bud. I knew it from day one. I
We
knew
had
you were a
penciled in
Tiger.
already. We knew that was happening.
You should have FaceTimed me just to see what he was actually gonna do.
Nobody's getting number 9. That's for Schmidt.
So you get here, obviously, you make the decision. You tell him, he freaks out. Then you send an email. Now you're out of the draft. You felt some relief,
Oh my God.
right? I would imagine.
It was like not even like a bad like scenario. Just like the most stress of my life to the least amount of stress of my life, and like the snap of a finger.
And
like it
instantly
was
knew they made the right decision.
best feeling of my life.
The push of a button.
Yep.
Right, like you, and we had a little conversation off air. Obviously, you were born in Baton Rouge. LSU was your dream school. You really wanted to play here. Was that the only reason that you felt like you wanted to go to school, or do you feel like there was maybe some more development you could do, and you can have while you're here? Because we've talked a lot about that. Going to school, you kind of grow up as a person, as a dude, and you kind of figure out you're playing against the highest level competition outside of professional baseball. Did that kind of go into it too?
A little bit, like maybe a little mental stuff and some physical stuff, but like coaching staff there, I think I ran into like the right ones at the right time. Like love, like, they're great,
Yeah.
super good. They're going to put me in the best position that I need to be in 3 years, I think. So I'm just super excited to get to work with them, and, like, I think they're going to put me where I need to be or where I want to be.
So I got a little bit of a grown-up question for you, because this
All right.
is, another kind of it's a tough situation, but it's something you got.
He's sitting here like a bouncer, like he's just waiting for someone to say the wrong thing.
Hey,
and just
you
get
already-
up,
I won't
What?
do this.
Ah, take that back.
But it is a grown-up question.
God, there's a weapon in my
Yeah, he's
hand.
locked in. He's like, what the hell is he gonna ask?
Real
me?
close to here.
Do I have to get up and say something?
I'm looking out for William's best
Look out.
interest.
His best interest is coming out right here. Trust me, this is part of it. You might have had the conversation with him a little bit already. I know you got a lot of boys in town. A lot of boys. You grew up, all your boys. How do you plan on balancing trying to stick to what you do and what you need to be doing, as opposed to, I know I got my people and I do what I do with my people, and that is what it is. But obviously that becomes a little bit tougher for you being in school, in town, where you grew up at.
He's like, you thought you got rid of the pre-draft questions. Huh?
Yeah.
It was a pre-draft question, right?
It's a pre-draft quick. They didn't ask him about this. If you leave it, they're out. You out.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Like, I don't really have an answer. Kind of just see how it goes. Find out when I get there. Like, I mean, obviously baseball is a priority, but like, it's still a game. Still trying to have fun. Like, came here to get the college experience. So.
And I'd imagine that's why some of the decision was made. Like, you still have a massive support system here in Baton Rouge. Like, it's right down the road from you. Like, if you ever run into anything, like, dude, this is why I decided to stay here. And you didn't look, I wouldn't imagine, like anywhere else. So it's like it's either LSU or the draft. And it's like, so if I do decide to come here, like, I still have everything that I need around me.
Right.
You got a bouncer right there.
What?
I think the biggest thing is, like, and we can all attest to this, the guy that you are at 18 to the guy that you are when you're 21 to the guy that you are when you're 25 and then 30.
What's supposed to happen?
It's totally, well, I mean, you're at just such a different mindset, and like how you're thinking right now to how you're going to be thinking in 3 years. I mean, it's going to be, you're setting yourself up in a great place, but to basically, like, physically and mentally. I mean, I remember when William was 12 years old, we were working out at Traction, and then he showed up literally when he was 16, and it was a totally different person. From 12 to 16. From 18 to 21 in that 3 year period of just physical and mental, but I think even more physical development. I mean, like, from the guy I was at 18, the guy I was at 25, it wasn't even freaking close.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think that's your biggest jump. Yeah, you have a growth spurt, but like when you're talking about actually looking like a pro, from
When you look at the way the draft's been set up recently, right? I mean, there's so many college guys, especially college pitchers, getting drafted extremely high and then just cruising through the minor leagues to get to the big leagues, right? So, like, you set yourself up not only in that way, but also on the field, right? You go and you continue to develop. All this stuff's going to make you better on the field. The next thing you know, I may have turned X down. I didn't do this. It took me out of the draft out of high school, but I'm a top 5 pick. So
right.
look at where I'm at now. Right. And then at that point, you're like, okay, you're going to start in high A, do your thing, double A, and that's probably further along than you would have been had you gone out of high school. So, to your point.
Right.
That's what I was saying. You're fulfilling one part of your dream, right? Coming to school. What are you looking forward to most? Like, something that you've always watched from the other side, and you're like, damn, I get to do that now that I'm playing it for LSU.
I mean, easy answer is like a national championship. But like, I just want to dogpile again. Like, dogpiling in high school was so fun, and like all my boys around me. But like, I guess doing it like on a even higher level, like, just seems like so fun and amazing.
Have you been to Omaha?
I have not been to Omaha.
Oh, wow, this is cool.
It's great. I go to Omaha one time when I was a kid.
How good are you expecting y'all to be next year?
I haven't even met 3/4 of the team.
But your roommate is
now
big time.
I'm not gonna get it now. Aaron Beatty.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm not like in the same room as him, but like we're all neighbors on the same floor.
Yeah, and y'all come in the same freshman class. You made your decision. He makes his decision right after you. That kind of feels great to have a pitcher and a catcher who feels like the future, right? Come in together and work their way up. We saw it. Mikie Gibbs and Anthony Renato did it. They both came in as freshmen, left as juniors, starting.
Won a
You
national
saw it
championship.
with Gosman and Ty Ross. Ty Ross was there from the beginning, and he wakes his way out. Like, it's just, I think that there's a lot of those guys. Aaron Nola, did he come in with anybody behind the dish?
No, I would just say to the bigger point, like I think this is something like we've heard Jay talk about how not only recruiting but just like the transfer portal era where all of this stuff is happening. It's like it's hard to get a freshman to come in and commit and be here for 3 years and want to stick around. Like obviously it feels like that's what's going to happen here, but I feel like you set a precedent almost for like the next wave. When you talk about like we had Milazzo and Travinsky in here, they kind of did the same thing where it's like we're sticking it out here. We want to be at LSU, and then you kind of set the precedent for we probably won't need many like portal players to come in. Now this is the new kind of you're setting the precedent for what LSU baseball could be with your freshman class because it's so hard to get them in and get them to stay.
I mean, but look at Dylan. Like Dylan came in, he was totally a draft guy out of high school. He comes in, wins the national championship as a second pick overall behind his teammate.
Same thing, Bregman.
I mean, like that's like guy. You can if you're a legit dude, you can do it. You know, it's like I mean, you could come in and like legitimately be like, hey, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna win a national championship, and I'm gonna go get picked higher, with just as and be a damn near grown ass man going into the
just keep throwing 98 with Ride, the big breaking ball, curve ball. You have a change up?
A little bit.
A little change up. Just keep throwing
No,
that.
that's why I came. All right?
There you go. See? He knows that. I love that. Just keep doing what you're doing, and then all of these things happen.
The league will tell you when you need to start putting
No doubt, dude.
That's okay.
No
Don't
doubt.
worry about that.
Dude, the good thing is that you came to a winning program, right? And guys on teams that win get drafted. That's why the SEC has so many guys in the pros because they go to a league that's competitive and they win baseball games. Because at the end of the day, those GMs are not staying on payroll if they're not winning games for their owners. And those owners want to make money, and the only way to go make money is to go play on TV and everybody watch.
I'd say one of the unique things about him, too, that in baseball, like it's a crapshoot kind of in any sport, but it's really a crapshoot in baseball because I could find a really good two-way player who may have a good fastball, who's never seen any real competition, and then you bring them here and they have no clue of how to adjust. Y'all have played the hardest of hard schedules that you can actually play as a high school team, right? So you're bred in competition. You've always put yourself in that situation to be able to go from that and then now back into what is the premier conference in baseball in college in the SEC. I think your past experiences kind of breed really well for you to kind of move forward because you're used to performing and competing at the top levels of whatever that level is, which is it's important.
Right. Teams love winners, dude. I mean, you look at, it's kind of like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He won a state championship in high school, won a national championship at LSU, goes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's won 2 Super Bowls, played in 4. I mean, you serious? Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
And that team is keeping Clyde on there. 1, he's a good player, but 2, like, that guy has a win. He's got a winning background. So, like, for a guy like you won a national championship in high school. You could legitimately go to LSU and win a national championship in baseball. And so if I'm drafting you out of college, it's like I'm taking this guy. He's won at every level he's played at.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know how many people actually put a ton of stock into it. Me personally, I think it's a huge thing. I think when you find someone who continually finds themselves on national championship or very winning ball clubs, that person's got to have something to them.
Yeah.
Even if they're at the bottom of that roster, they got to have something right to them because it's hard to be the number in that thing kind of moving around. Like,
dude, look at the top picks in the draft this year. The Kajente guy from Mississippi State, the lefty from Arkansas. Yep. I mean, you're talking now. That's just 2 guys that I noticed. The kid from Georgia.
Yep.
Jack Caglione.
Like Caglione from Florida. Like, these are all SEC dudes that are winners, and they're playing the best conference ever, beating great.
Well, and they also turned down money out of high school, right? Caglione was a big guy coming out of high school, turned down money. So it's all, like I said, if you do what you're supposed to do, you do what you anticipate yourself doing.
Yeah.
And the way that college baseball is trending, like it feels like you're going to get opportunity to be seen, and especially in the SEC, like you're going to, like, the spotlight's only going to get brighter, and it's only going to be better for you, I think, at some point where You're on TV nearly every weekend, and then I mean, you saw it. You went to the North Carolina series. That's where I think a lot of people started to kind of want to put the pieces together at some point for LSU. Like, oh, he drove to North Carolina to go see LSU play. Like, I feel like a lot of that you saw it firsthand. So the way that baseball is going and LSU is going, like, you're going to be plenty visible as opposed to minor league baseball where you'd be on a bus
and
with
honestly,
no towel.
Some may say you get better development right now in college, right? You have more one-on-one time. You have more. There's more. They can pay more attention to you than having a game every day, And so there's a lot of benefit to doing what you did. But you're now a Tiger. You grew up watching them. What's your favorite, memory?
Well, I know it's not.
You didn't know what happened.
I know where it's not. So
He's looking at all the posters. He's like, damn, 2009. How was it back then?
Yeah.
Like,
He
no iPhones, dude.
He didn't even know who Jared. He didn't know who Jared is.
Like no iPhones. You don't even know what a razor is. No doubt.
Thought this would be in black and white.
But growing up, what was your favorite baseball moment?
I hope y'all weren't on this team.
We
but
weren't.
I'm gonna tell you no.
Okay. I remember I don't know if they were going to Super or going to Omaha, probably Omaha, but I was in the right field stands, and it was like Mason Katz, Mark Laird.
Oh, that was right after me, though. That far.
Ray Frimes, like that team.
Wow. I would have been on that team.
It was like all that team. I remember just like my mom brought me to the game, and I don't remember how old I was, but I just remember like they had just won and they were going somewhere, and like I was stuck my hand out, and like everybody was high-fiving me, and I don't remember what I was thinking, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I thought it was like super cool.
That's awesome.
That's like my earliest memory though.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Have to live it.
Exactly. You get to be the ones high five.
Yeah, I know.
I have never been so out of breath in my life doing that, running around the stadium, having to jump in the outfield and high five people, jumping like a pogo stick, trying to touch the. I was like
Trying to touch every hand that's up there.
I was like the fat dude from the longest yard trying to run around the track. Like I got back to the deal, I was sweating my ass off.
I was trying to long jump it at the same time. Like, how many can I slap in one jump?
Yeah. And then you got a few steps before you can jump again.
You're like, oh,
you don't have to
man,
get
I'm trying
everybody.
to jump again.
No doubt. You get in the front, you just set the pace.
But that's going to be you. You know, and it's like you don't get that. I mean, no, you're going to be think about it. If you look at the past class at LSU, if a guy was there for 3 years, there was a X amount of % chance that he was going to go to Omaha. You know, it's like very high probability that you get to make it to a World Series. The College World Series is about being there. So, you don't get that experience if you go out of high school. When it's like, hey, that experience right there is something that you'll have forever. Nobody can take that from you. You know, along with a lot of other things you experience in college, and if it works out like it's supposed to, dude, you're getting basically you're checking every box, right? And that's what's invaluable about going to college is the stuff we're talking about right now. That guys that go out of high school, they don't get to do that. That might mean more to you than
you know what's crazy too is you get to come here and hopefully right away you're in there and you're competing and you get an opportunity, right? But you also get to pitch and learn from guys who have been here, guys who are super talented, right? Chase Shore's coming back. He's a big righty, right? He's supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft going into next year. You get to be around those guys and see how those guys have developed and what they've done and kind of learn from them. I think that's a really cool aspect too.
Right. Yeah, and I tell you too, there's another really cool aspect of coming to college or coming to school here is much like when you're in high school and a lot of the conversation in your senior year is it revolves around hey, this may be our last time getting a chance to do this or that, right? This may be outside of you playing in the big leagues for the same team with the same core group of guys in the big leagues. This may be your last time having the same group of guys around you for a 3 to 4 year span. And that's something that you look back on your career when you're said and done, you'll be like, wow, yeah, those are probably the guys I'm still closest to, and it doesn't matter when you're finished, you'll be like, that's like my boys at that point. So that's something else that's cool about this too.
Oh, damn, I'm fired up for you, dude.
Yeah, same.
It's gonna be fun.
Another thing is I love to win. I feel like if I were pitching the minors, it'd be hard. Of course, still go out there and do my best, but just as a competitor,
you don't have the juice.
I know. Yeah,
it's
that's
a different
kinda,
mindset.
Yeah,
100%. And you're right. You're gonna go and play some minor league baseball games on Tuesday night in the middle of the Southern League.
Topeka.
at 98 degrees and humid at night, and there's gonna be nobody in the stands. And
and you,
it's like, and you gotta try to get as up for the game as you possibly can.
Not just that too, you may actually run into staffs or cultures or whatever it is that they openly show you they don't care about winning. And so now you got to find that inside of you somewhere to be able to bring it to the mound when it's your turn. Some places are different. Some places they may actually kind of breed the winning mindset, even though it's all about development in the minor league level. But some places you go, it's not spoken. And if it ain't spoken, if you don't have that already flowing through your veins, it's going to be hard for you to find it. You know what I mean? So, like, you coming here adds another layer of you being able to do that for 3 years and figuring out the sauce that works for you.
And have guys behind you wanting to do the same thing, right? Because when you're playing in minor league baseball, you do all that. You can bring the juice as much as you want, but you can't guarantee you can get all your guys behind you that are going to be as fired up. Maybe a couple.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you may have the culture of the place where it is. It might breed. We don't care, bro.
Right.
I just want my 3 knocks tonight.
Mm-hmm. You got the guys here that are going to be doing working their ass off to try to, because they're all trying to get to the next level too.
Right, dude. We got to play for the same high school coach, and like when I got out of high school ball, like at Catholic, you don't have a choice. Like, you're gonna win or it's gonna be bad. Like, hey, we're gonna figure it out and win, or like, I don't know. We were thankfully good and won, but like, it's just not tolerable to go there and lose at Catholic. So then I go to my JUCO, LSU Unison. Like, it's even worse over there. Like if you don't win at Eunice, like, it's like you're good.
They just got moved up to Division I, right?
Yeah, and they're building a new stadium.
$15 million deal.
It's blowing up. So like then
you built that,
right? Well, we did win a national championship there, but then I go play summer ball. Wait till you go play summer ball. It's like, what is this?
Oh, I just went to Ohio to visit my friend for summer ball.
Brutal.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. This is not a joke. My freshman year, I played in Illinois. Summer ball in Illinois. Danville, Illinois. Danville Dan, shout out. Great time. It was right after we won the national championship my freshman year. And we go out there. Did not want to be there. Like, we had
Where you wanted to be?
I wanted to be at home. We had just won the national championship. Like, I wanted to go and have fun. But we're there in the middle of nowhere. Now, if it was in the Cape or somewhere else, maybe it would have been different. We're there. Nobody in the stands. The field is a cow pasture. So I was playing right field. A ball got hit as a line drive. It hit and took a direct turn out to the foul line. And I'm like, literally right in front of it, and just takes off the opposite direction. So it's brutal. Summer ball's terrible.
Yeah, and nobody cares.
Juice.
Nobody cares if you win or lose. Like, my first game, I show up. I don't know anything. My first year playing summer ball, we get our absolute teeth kicked in. And we get on the bus, and our coach is like, hey, guys, we're going to stop at Sheetz, and everybody can get a milkshake and a sandwich, and then I'll see y'all tomorrow. And I was like, what? Yeah. Like, I thought we were about to get chewed out.
So we can talk?
And I get a milkshake? Wait, I get a milkshake and a sandwich? Like,
and I get to stop at Sheetz and pick what I want?
Right? Like, but you get some Hey, listen, you get some funny stories in college summer ball, though.
Oh, like, dude, yeah,
you're too young for this movie, but
Summer Catch?
Summer Catch? You've never seen Summer Catch.
It.
It is. It's based off.
It's on
of
a
like,
DVD.
Based off of
You're
like
old as shit, bro.
the Cape Cod League, and these college guys going out there and but there's like an aspect to it where like kind of like on vacation, but you play baseball every day, and you're with these dudes that you'll probably never play with again. I mean, it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, there's no juice and but it's like a whole different.
It's like summer camp,
and you're playing against like some really good competition. So there's just pros and cons. But talking about juice, you got no juice there.
Yeah, no.
Negative juice, actually.
It was Lima, Ohio. Ever heard of that?
Nope, never heard of it. And that's usually where they're at.
Yep.
Crazy, never heard.
Never heard of it.
Plenty of juice at the box, though.
Plenty of juice at the box, which I can't wait to see you throw the juice.
Oh, dude.
Have you touched 100?
Not that I know of.
99?
Oh, it might be the thing where they just
only
don't
got
tell you.
99 in a game? Or like in a...
It doesn't bother me as much as like I thought it would.
Are you a gun watcher? Do you like the watching scoreboard or what?
Well, our scoreboard doesn't have a gun.
Even better.
Well, this one does.
This one
Oh,
does.
yeah, this one does.
Yeah.
Look, my first outing, bro, like, I don't know how it's going to be, but first pitch, I'm definitely looking.
I love that. I love that.
Slight peek. Like,
Hell yeah.
Like, I hope, like, God forbid. Like, I hope it's not like some big moment where like bases loaded and,
No,
and
he's
I
still
got
looking.
one out with the winning run on third.
He's still looking.
Wow.
And I
listen,
throw, the
hey, I'll
first
tell
one
you
I
this,
throw
if
is
you're in
up.
that situation, I think you're touching 100.
I asked that question because it takes a different mindset of dude. You're like, okay.
Especially if you're coming out the pin in that situation. You talk about juice.
Dude, it might be 102 to the
Yeah.
backside.
Man, he
What is
literally
102?
He just said, my first outing, I'm
looking.
definitely.
I love that though.
And he's telling you this after you'll have a whole fall of seeing it. You don't care. I'm looking.
Nah, I look. I look. My
I
first
respect it.
My first at bat, I hit the ball 700 feet. Yeah, I struck out, but it didn't matter. I tried to. I
That
swung
swing,
out
but
of
if
my
you connected.
shoes.
Couldn't feel your leg.
Yeah, big leagues couldn't feel my leg. Big leagues, I was floating. Like, I wanted the guy to throw 107. Like, I was ready. Instead, I had a guy throwing 84-mile-an-hour cutters. And I swung out of my shoes, and I capped it. You know, those ones where you hit right off the end of the bat?
Yeah.
It was a soft liner up the middle, and I was like, oh, my God. Nobody was there. And then D. Gordon just comes in like lollipop, hops and catches it. And I was like, damn. I was like, I couldn't feel. I'm surprised I even made contact. I was so early. It was ridiculous. No. So I get it. But if you are in that situation, you're definitely throwing 100.
Yeah, take notes if you're on the LSU baseball staff. Like, don't put the changeup down. This man wants to throw gas.
No, we're throwing heater.
Give him the heater, Ricky.
I don't even need a sign. Just come on. I know what you want.
Y'all are gonna be good, man. I mean, your recruiting class that came in. So do you know a lot of the recruits?
Yeah, I've been with them the whole week. All the freshmen. Most of them went home yesterday for the draft or 2 days ago. But a few of them are still here. But yeah, no, like really good group of
Have
kids.
you played against any of these guys over the summers?
Just in the summer, like at like all the USA stuff.
Who have you seen?
Derek Curriell is my roommate, so like I faced him like 2 or 3 times.
How's he?
I love him.
Is he a good player?
Oh yeah, I mean,
You get the better of him, or he got the better of you?
he's 1 for 3 off of me, and
Okay.
he's like, I'm a Hall of Fame hitter off of you. And I'm
Single?
like, yeah, single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Listen, it's
Yeah.
a win.
I'm a Hall of Fame
Listen,
hitter.
I told
Oh,
him I'm a Hall of
better.
Fame hitter off of you.
It was a bunt.
No, we gotta have him in here. We gotta talk about it. We gotta
That
talk about it.
doesn't count.
2-0 count, and I threw him a fastball, and he
Oh,
bunted.
that's even worse.
He bunted it at 2-0 count. Oh, I
That's
can't
even
wait
worse.
to wear him out
He
about
was
this.
just trying to get the hit so he can tell you got a hit off you.
Right.
Dude, that's going to be fun too. Like it gets old after right before the season starts to start getting old. But like during the fall, whenever you're facing all those guys that you've played against or played with your whole career, you get to pitch against them. One, you're pitching against really good players, but 2, it's freaking so much fun getting to face guys like your buddies like all
Yeah.
off season. I mean that's real, and you're gonna get to talk shit with them and do all that. That's super fun. I was with Kate Beloso this weekend, and we were talking about baseball, and he was like, "Dude, you ate my lunch during the fall," and it was just funny, like getting to talk.
You
to
always
him,
get a
like,
guy that's, that just can't hit.
Both sides.
And-
You were there with Cade?
Yeah, I was a
He thought you were old too.
I was a fifth year. I was a 5th year senior,
Yeah.
and Cade was a freshman when I was a 5th year senior.
Yeah, he's old.
So yeah, I'm old.
So feel free to stay 5 years. You're running into a bunch of people.
No,
No,
don't,
get
don't stay 5 years.
get out of here at 3.
The reason why I stayed 5 years is not why he wants to stay 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you ain't staying 5 years.
No way. No.
You don't want to
But,
go through what he had. to
No, you don't want to stay 5 years. Look, I had fun, but my 5 years was a tough 5 years. It was not. It was not voluntarily there for 5 years. So.
Here's what I think is cool: the opportunity that the freshman class have. Right, so you obviously have the portal class, but last year LSU had 4 freshmen that played a lot
Right.
throughout the course of the year. So now you'll bring in a class that has you, that has Curriell, that has all these guys that are highly ranked out of high school, are coming in here now with spots open all over the field. Right, so there's a chance a couple other freshmen get in that starting lineup, you on the mound or whatever it is, and so now you have the opportunity to build a team from freshmen on, which is very hard to do now.
Right.
And now you're going to be able to build that for 1, 2, 3 years. And so the opportunity of you going to Omaha not just once but multiple times is very real, right? Because they're already talented. They already, and they've Milam and those guys are getting a ton of experience. And so y'all get to follow suit, and that's what we've been talking. That's how you build programs. Is you have these freshman classes become really good. So that's what I'm fired up for y'all to have the opportunity to do.
And I think you'll. I mean, I was talking with him last night, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna get to throw. He's like, really? I was like,
There's opportunity.
man, in like when you got as many games as you play in college, and you got guys that you have stuff come up, it's like you're gonna get a shot. If you're good, like,
Well,
and
look,
you do well in the fall, like they'll throw you out shit.
Hey,
They'll
and
throw you
the
out
thing
shit.
is too is like you gotta understand this, and I hope this is something you understand. Like your stuff is your stuff, bro, and your stuff plays. So when you can throw strikes, you have an opportunity to get people out at the highest level, and you prove you can throw strikes. I promise you're gonna pitch a lot next year. Just how it is.
Yeah, and it'll be fun.
Yeah,
Like lots.
It's
of
gonna be
fun.
loud.
Like so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, the chat's blowing up. The man's already a legend just for the commitment. So
Yeah.
once you do it once, it's be like, oh yeah, this is the guy that carried the class.
Dude, I'm telling you, every 50-year-old man in Baton Rouge was wondering what William Schmidt was doing on draft day. Like, it's the funniest thing ever. Like, that's only Baton Rouge.
I don't know if that's weird or not.
Yeah, no, that's just
Get used to it.
that's just LSU baseball,
Yeah,
dude.
that's how
It's-
crazy it is. That's the
it's-
reach you get.
Golly, it's crazy.
What's next for you? Summer break? Y'all aren't taking summer classes or anything, are y'all? Oh, y'all are. That's a new thing. We never did that.
I mean, it ain't like rocket science, but
No, I know.
yeah.
but like when we came in, it was always just get to the fall as your first time. But now I feel like freshmen are coming in earlier, which I think's smart, right? Get in there and start working out. Like summer ball after you've already signed means nothing, right? So let's get you in, like on campus and kind of get going.
It's kind of the way football's always done.
Yeah,
so
right.
Like, they kind of got used to it, but baseball's kind of tagged along, and which you
Yeah.
should. Because I was, I guess, not in your situation. I was kind of like back and forth, so I didn't get in class. So like, first day of class, I'm like, bro, where is?
Since
this
you probably don't know, he plays football and baseball here.
Yeah, you know, back when
'Cause he doesn't remember
back
we
when
were
it was
12.
still black and white film. So
Yeah, you used
Wow.
to take a wagon to work outside every day.
Yeah, I used to,
He had
horse
the
and
single,
buggy.
he had
Horse and
the single bar face. Actually, he had the
I had
leather.
the Thurman Thomas, you know, the one that comes right down the middle with the two bars here,
He had the leather helmet, but he won a national championship in the 07
with the
season
with the
football.
cowboy collar at receiver.
And then he won in baseball.
They just started Gatorade.
So that's.
All
I
sport
just realized as you're talking, I was like, he probably has no idea that you played football.
that's
here.
cool.
And that's okay.
We're old as shit now, dude.
Didn't know that.
It's-
That's what
I
it
mean,
is.
he won out 2 years, year two, when he won the national championship in football.
Too young to remember. That's what he means. You were too
Yeah.
young.
Might have been at the game.
Huh?
Too,
I said might have been.
He might have.
It was in New Orleans.
He doesn't remember, but he might have been there.
You know what's crazy though? I was thinking about this on the way here. Whenever we were talking about going, how many times did you go on air when you were a senior in high school, going to be a freshman at LSU? Did you go on air and talk about doing that?
Never.
Maybe one time. Maybe. I don't even think
was
so.
on-
It
and
was
it was
on
on
radio,
98.1?
ESPN radio at 7:30 in the morning. You know, like
I did. I think I did a couple like interviews like after my senior year of football. Like
he's
going
different. He was
back,
like top 100 recruit in football.
But like that's
So like football has always been got more attention than.
But isn't that freaking cool? Like he's 18 years old,
Yeah, it's
coming on.
different.
He's gonna get to have a platform,
yeah,
like
no
come
doubt.
and like do it. Like I mean, you're
This?
Gonna, yeah, I
you
mean,
can do this anytime you
it's
want, right? This is. I
Right.
mean, we're not ever gonna ask crazy questions that like trying to trap people like most journalists. We're not journalists.
no like
You
the
just
next time
kinda
you come.
talk
Next
about
time
I
we come
never
here,
thought y'all two were journalists.
The next
No,
time we come
Lloyd-
here,
Lloyd might be a journalist over there.
we are going to absolutely
That
grill you
master's
about what you
degree
think about
plays.
football.
Yeah.
The next time you come here, we're grilling you
Yeah,
about
talking
football.
all
So just
about
letting you know.
football.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right, so you're in school, in your classes. When new classes in, do you get a break before actual fall? And like, are you working out? What are y'all doing?
Are you gonna fly home during the break or?
Ride his bike, remember?
Yeah, so we got 8:15 breakfast, and then we get golf carted to class at 9.
Wow, y'all get golf cart to class. That's awesome.
Or like, I won't need it anymore. My next thing, actually, like right when I leave here, I'm gonna go buy a scooter.
Oh,
Hell yeah, you are.
Yeah.
with the helmet.
No. I've been here for like a week, and I've probably already spent $200 just renting scooters. But like, so then class ends at like 10 to 10:15, like whenever she dismisses it, and then eat lunch at 11, and then we have a study hall or like a tutor session thing, like where you get all your work done, and that's from like
Oh yeah.
11:30 to
The
1.
academic center?
Yeah, 11:30 to 1:30, and then work out from 2:30 to 4:15, and then dinner at 6, and you're
Wow.
normally free for whatever.
Hey, don't underestimate the academic center now. I mean,
Spend some time in there.
listen. There's a lot of all the athletes come through it.
Oh,
All right.
I don't know if I'm not.
It's like the Olympic Village.
You may have a girlfriend, you may not have a girlfriend.
Whoa,
I don't want
geez,
to
what are
say
you saying
anybody.
over here?
My point is, you can see a bunch of athletes, and they're attractive athletes, right?
Like I said, it's like the Olympic Village.
It is. Well, no.
Oh,
That's, I mean, a little different than that. A smudge different than that, Lloyd.
The smudge.
That smudge. It's just a smudge like the
No,
Olympic
point
Village.
is just look. Academic Center sounds miserable.
It's
but,
good networking.
Great networking, unlimited food and drink.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they didn't have. That's new.
That
We
is.
had no snacks.
Well-
You couldn't even bring food in there.
That was
How
it.
brutal
yeah.
was that?
Are you serious?
Yeah, we made them change that. That was quickly changed.
Yeah, no, they got like a whole little
Yeah.
room.
Whole spread.
Yeah, not back then.
We crawled so y'all could walk.
Yeah, not a smudge.
Dude,
of
there's-
food.
The building was brand new. They wouldn't have none of that
Yeah.
nonsense going on.
Dude, you're gonna have they're gonna be able to put on so much weight because there's food literally every corner at the field, in the weight room.
Do you like
at
working
the
out?
Study hall.
Don't mind it.
You're gonna start to love it.
Bro,
It's kind of non-optional.
Yeah, right. It's not,
Bro, he likes the hill.
Mandatory.
it's non-optional. You're right. You're right. You gotta do it. I've seen guys not do it. Didn't really work out for them.
Right.
I mean, you may not gain 1 pound, right? But
You're in there.
it's gonna be doing other things that you're not noticing. My point. All right.
That's how you get to 100.
Right.
The gym.
and the juice. The gym and the juice.
Whoa, what?
Wow.
The gym and the juice.
What kind of
The
juice?
gym
Juice for
and
y'all.
juice.
To the gym and the
What kind of
juice.
juice you talking about?
Gym and the
Hell,
juice.
Tiger Stadium juice, man, not gin
Oh.
and juice.
No, like gym.
Beam.
Them. No, not that juice either. Anyway, I'm gonna go before he starts. He starts
dirty
getting
on the
us,
brain.
he starts getting us derailed. Are you gonna watch the All-Star game?
Tomorrow at like 7 or 8.
No,
sometime.
See,
yeah.
All-Star game's not doing a good job promoting. Yeah, 7 or 8.
I'll probably watch Skeens.
There you
And
go.
then,
That's it.
So about 3 innings.
yeah, it
Maybe.
depends what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
same way. See, that's. And
Wait.
look, honestly, I don't watch any All-Star games in any.
He'll
sport.
probably only throw the first.
Yeah, it's only the first, huh?
Yeah. I just figured it might still be on.
He's
in the
gonna hit
background.
102, I think.
I think I hit 103.
There you
Ooh.
go.
I would love that. I would love them to see.
By the
that.
way, did you see?
Have they ever done
didn't
that?
Joyce hit 104?
Yeah,
It's unreal.
yeah.
What is that?
That guy's a
Dude,
monster.
What do you do that
unreal.
at?
That guy's a monster.
Hey, and it looks like a painful one.
And it's like you look,
it's coming.
when he throws, you like, man, this is uncomfortable.
Like when Ski throws, it looks effortless. Like
not,
it's like
not Joyce.
no.
It's violent.
No, it looks like, and it looks like he can like it slip and hit you right in the head at any moment. The way he releases it, he just
And he's
slings
a
it.
big
it's
dude
like-
too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, that's a lot.
He reminds me of
104.
Hunter Strickland. Remember
It
Strickland?
is. He does. He is built like him a little bit.
Yeah.
A little longer, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's
struck
built like
me
him a
out.
little bit.
99 eyeballs.
an aggressive one
swung.
over.
Swung at it.
Thing hit the backstop. He was still swinging.
99 eyeballs. Oh, he got my ass. Wasn't even close.
Throw it again.
He didn't say the
Wasn't even
letters. He
close.
just said his eyeballs. Like,
It's one of those ones where you see it and you swing, you're like, shit. I got no
idiot.
shot. Just please touch it. You know, one of those things. But yeah, it was tough. You got my ass. All right. Obviously, I know we appreciate you coming in. I know that you probably don't want to be here hanging out all night with us. You got maybe you have a study or something. I don't know. Maybe you're going back to your dorm with no sheets.
Yeah. There's
think-
something
oh,
here.
Maybe another
I'm
bowl
gonna
of
get some
cereal. I don't
sheets.
know. What kind of cereal was
I
it?
mean, you can stay as long as you
Honey
want.
nut?
I don't want to keep you all the whole time. We're going to talk other sports, so I don't want to like, you know what I mean? Take up all your time. Take up your whole night. Up to y'all.
I'm chilling. Up
Up
to
to
y'all.
you.
All right, then
What do y'all-
let's-
what do y'all talk-
Protector.
What are y'all talking about?
Ooh,
Here we
yeah.
go. Perfect.
There
Let's
you
get
go.
into the show. We're going to talk about
Dude,
other
you just want to come
SEC.
sit over here?
Yeah. We're going to talk about other SEC teams. All right?
All right.
So, like, we talked about the draft. How we thought LSU. Actually, we haven't talked about the draft. We touched on it. How do y'all think LSU's fared so far in the draft? I know how I feel.
I feel like they made out like bandits so far, man. Like they got some.
Pretty sure Jared Jones coming back.
I think Jared Jones
Yeah,
is coming
agree.
back, which is one.
Braswell
Yeah.
just did his thing.
We don't know about. We still don't know about Griffin. I would imagine if somebody took the chance on him that late,
think
he
Jay-
possibly
I
maybe
think
going.
Jay tweeted, too. Like, it was a great 2
Yeah,
years.
he did. That's what I'm saying. But he hasn't. I mean, it's not said and done. I would
he's
imagine
good.
He's
Like
good.
his stuff is good.
good.
Like
really
if I'm picked, like if I'm
Great
like, he got
analysis.
drafted, like he got drafted by the Yankees.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like his stuff plays like he's not a super hard thrower, but like his swing and miss percentage on his It was either
Slider.
Slider was like
Yes, dude.
ridiculous.
And he can
And he's
throw
got a
for strikes
funky
anytime he
delivery. It's
Like,
bro,
He's got more velo in his arm too.
It's no doubt, and he threw a lot, man. Like
He's
he
got
was,
that. He's got that, and then he's got the big breaker, and he's a competitor.
competitor.
You know what I mean? I
when
think
you
that's the
had,
biggest thing.
here's the only thing. When it comes to LSU and you come to the draft and you had 3 of the top guys you were honestly really worried about, especially as like program builders, and they all pretty much pulled their name before the draft and they're all going to be here, that alone is a win for you right there, right? So, like, that helped a lot. Jared Jones hasn't gotten drafted yet, so I would imagine he's probably going to be back. Mm-hmm. You're able to fill a bunch of the questions that we were not sure what was going to happen at that spot, and it immediately makes that team a very good team. It's a dangerous team. Like questions. Tomorrow.
Talk about questions, right? So we got a lot of guys. We had guys that came from the recruiting side that had ended up on campus that Jay may not have thought was going to end up on campus. We've had guys that were here leave, everybody anticipating them leaving. A couple of those guys are going to end up coming back. So we go out in the portal, you fill out the roster with all these other guys. So now the question becomes, is there too many people on the roster? Like, is there, you know what I mean? Like, all these people came back. How is he going to – it's the same situation kind of last year. How are we going to navigate the bats that need to be in the lineup or should be in the lineup? Because we brought guys in. Are all these guys going to be able to stay? Or can they just transfer again? I guess the portal's not open, so you can't.
But here's the thing. There's never too much talent.
I agree with that.
You always want to stockpile talent
100%.
because you never know what can happen. I do think last year taught Jay a valuable lesson in his head coaching career where there is going to have to come a point where you're going to have to figure out who are my dogs and who am I riding with, and I'm going to have to keep rolling those guys. And I think this year he kind of fell into a spot where he waited too long to find those guys and roll with those guys. He gave a very talented roster a whole lot of chances, and then finally at some point he's like, I don't have time to give any more chances. Yeah. I just got to roll with this.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Is there a world that Jared comes back and he catches?
I mean, maybe. We'll see. I mean, you don't have a lot of catchers on the roster right now. You have one. I don't
know. I mean, you don't have a lot of catchers.
Right now, you have one for sure catcher.
One for sure.
That's what I mean. For sure catcher.
I don't know. If
the JUCO guy.
For sure catcher.
Yeah, it's Aaron Beatty.
And the JUCO guy, right?
He could get drafted.
Oh, I guess he could get drafted.
He could still get drafted. He does. He's a catcher / first baseman, but he doesn't have that much time behind the plate, if I remember correctly.
Isn't the dude from Dayton a catcher?
That's the one that doesn't have a lot of time on the plate, too.
Okay, I don't know.
A lot of the catchers – no, he did, though. He was in a catcher, but he didn't have – remember, we checked. He didn't have a lot of games played behind the dish. So, yeah, there's a lot of unprovenness behind the plate. Jared Jones – Malazzo has told me this multiple times that he can catch. He's good behind the plate, is what Malazzo
Dude,
was
he's
saying.
so big, too. Like,
he's a large human.
Like, that would be the
big
biggest –
target for you.
It'd be like the biggest catcher ever. Like, that dude is
listen,
a monster.
there used to be a
premium.
Right, on big catchers, right? If you go think about, before your time probably, you think about like Buster Posey, big dude. Wieters from the Orioles, big dude. Mauer, big dude. Like these guys are 6'4", 6'5".
Like hockey goalies.
Yeah, like big dudes, right? And then you had another guy, but like those guys are enormous. And so you used to have that. It kind of went the other way when these, more athletic, I've seen some shortstop get converted to catchers, like Austin Nola, shortstop to catcher. And so you've seen it before. Micah Gibbs was a big target back there.
Yeah.
So
all
it
right,
could be.
Buster Posey, 6'1", 213.
Oh, no.
I didn't think Buster was that big, but the
All
rest,
right.
the other two guys.
Mauer's tall.
The other
But
two guys.
6'1's bigger than
The other two guys
yeah.
are really big though.
Yeah.
There's some big dudes.
All right. Well, how big are they?
Wieters is probably 6'5", maybe 6'6".
I can't.
There's another one that I was talking about too.
Mike Piazza.
No. It was around that time.
The big catcher was the thing. I think the big catcher kind of, I won't say it went away, but it became less of a thing when it became more about
a premium on hitting.
No. The strike stealing part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the catching stances switched up a lot,
fact
that
checking
became
right
a big
now?
thing of it.
Jared Jones, 6'4", 255.
Right.
Wieters is
So guys, that's
What's his name?
Jared
Wieters.
Saltalamacchia, big dude.
Matt Wieters.
Matt.
W-E-I-T-E-R.
W-I-E.
No, E-I.
No,
I
EI.
before you
It's
accept
EI.
letter C. You know how it works.
Smudge.
It's IE.
It's I-E, that's what I said.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Florida's catcher was big this year.
Yeah.
He's like 6'6".
He's 6'5".
Grayson Griner, 6'7", catcher from South Carolina. Remember him? He was 6'7". I'll play them with Detroit.
Jeez,
Enormous.
Please. I don't know. That would be awesome if you caught.
I'm not saying he is, but he came in as a catcher.
No, that'd be.
I would imagine
And he was very highly touted.
I would
as a
imagine next year in the fall they're going to have to figure out another guy that at least maybe one, for sure maybe two, that's going to have to be able to be used because you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Here's a question.
Okay.
Would that help his draft stock at all if he came
Yes.
back and would also be able to
Absolutely.
catch?
If he
If
was
he
really
showed
good
he
behind the
could
plate
catch-
and still hit,
He had 28 homers last year.
Yeah,
How many
that-
catchers hit 28 homers?
See,
last
but
year?
here's the thing though, and this is just me talking.
Milazzo just missed on a couple.
100% it would help him. Would he want to really do
Right.
that?
I don't know.
That's the
That's a
question.
lot
Look,
to
and I have
ask.
That's a lot to ask because here's the thing: what's going to happen next year in the draft, which is if he makes it back here, it does put him in a really weird spot in the sense of I know if I want to get drafted anywhere near where I thought I was going to get drafted last year, I'm going to have to put up the same offensive numbers. Will I be able to do that if I go behind the plate too?
I wonder. Do you think that he set a number so high? Is that's why? I mean, it can't be
If
because
he
he's not
got
talented
through,
enough.
If he got through day 2 and he didn't get drafted, I would assume his number was too high. At
Yeah,
that point.
that's what I thought.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
There's no way he wasn't getting calls. There's no way someone
doubt.
didn't
Well,
ask if he was draftable.
Isn't he just a draft eligible sophomore?
Yeah,
too?
right. By one
That's
day.
the most leverage you're ever gonna have once you go to college.
Right. So I'm sure he did set his number pretty damn
Right.
high.
Yeah.
Because he gets drafted because of his juice, man. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
power. Like he's
No,
got big league
100%, dude.
power.
We don't go through
That's not
6.
going anywhere.
Would they finish 7 rounds or 8 rounds today? You don't go through that many. You don't go through 2 days of draft and not draft him.
But
because
that
he's not good
power's
enough.
not going anywhere. So I mean, I think he's thinking like, if I go back, I still
do it
have
again.
the tangibles
Yeah.
that they want. And if they do put him behind the plate, I mean, let's just say
Even if he
hits-
plays first base and he has another really good year at the first base, it's the same thing. But I think catcher just elevates him to the next.
Dude, let's say he
Yeah.
hits 20 homers as a catcher. How many guys that were
Right.
catchers hit 20 homers this
Right.
year?
Yeah.
Let's say he just hits 20. Like and he can catch.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
If he's able to play well behind the plate, I do think if you could still hit 20 and you don't even have to hit the 300 that he hit this year, he elevates himself.
yeah,
I
I
would
agree.
with that. Yeah.
Griffin Herring seems to be gone. Pitching staff though is in great shape. A lot of guys they brought in to kind of fill out the bullpen. Brought another experienced right-handed arm. That's a starter that had good numbers that just committed last week.
Yeah.
How's the guy from Nichols, the righty from?
He throws hard, has good stuff, kind of walks some guys, but he's got good stuff. But there's a few guys that they got that do that, right?
Dude, Velo's great. Like
That throw hard and strike a bunch of guys out, but also have a bunch of walks. I think that's going to be a deciding factor on who actually gets some of the innings early on, is being able to throw strikes. But then you also have, I think, the biggest recruit. No offense, right now.
Fair enough.
The biggest recruit that really wasn't a recruit is Shores. Like, you talk about the guys coming in, the guys leaving, all these types of things. Sometimes you forget that Shores is still on the team, and he's going to be here, and he's going to go out there. He's going to be throwing 100-mile-an-hour sinker balls. And, you know, now you have a guy who you're probably going to pencil into that Friday spot at the beginning of the season, and I think that's a big pickup too. So
Huge.
you have 4 legit arms, 4 legit experienced arms before you even get to the guys coming early in.
Well, he was like Schmidt coming in as a freshman.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he was like the Sunday
Yeah.
starter as a freshman,
Yeah.
throwing 98.
I literally said, I told somebody yesterday, I would imagine he's got a similar route to what we saw from
Yeah.
Shores his freshman year. I wouldn't be surprised if that would be some of the role that he would take on.
Yeah.
starting
Biggest
next
thing
year.
is competing, dude. Like, just I'm gonna compete. I don't give it. Doesn't matter what's going on, what shit I have today. I'm just gonna compete, and that's what those guys do.
So,
right?
yeah.
Figure it out. You know, you got the stuff. You know.
Competing's the fun part, really.
That's the best
Like
part.
that's
That's
like
the
that's
easiest
why
part.
you play. It's like
That's the easiest part.
like I am here to dominate you. Like that is.
I think that
Who's
it
your
gets
dad?
so lost so easy by some guys that get on the mound though. Is they get on the mound and they want to be so fine, they want to be so perfect, and it's like, bro, I'm here to get you out, bro. What's up? It's me against you at this point.
Hey, I overheard a conversation of a guy that was he had just gotten drafted out of high school. He was playing in the minor leagues, and he was talking to a 10-year big leaguer, 4-time All-Star. You know, was in the Cy Young race for 3 or 4 years. Got beat up by Roger Clemens, whatever. And the guy that was in the minor leagues says, "Hey, you know, I'm doing great. You know, I'm not scared of anybody. Like I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna shove it. Like I can't wait to go out there. Like I ain't scared of anybody. You know, in the other dugout." And the guy looked at him and he goes, yeah, and there's 9 other dudes in there that ain't scared of you either. Like, they don't give a shit, you know. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, like, those dudes aren't scared of you.
Yep.
So what happens then at that point? Well, we're just going to go out there and compete.
Yeah.
Like, they're competing against you just as hard as you're competing against them. Nobody's scared at that point. When you're at LSU, if you're scared, you ain't going to stay long.
You're not gonna be
You're out. So then it just becomes mano a mano, you know, getting after it. And that's the fun part. You know, that's why you play at a high level. And
You're gonna say something, or you're like smiling like you're gonna say something?
No.
Okay.
Just,
So all in all, I think LSU.
I competed. I just didn't have any talent. I compete with the best
hard,
of them. I'm competing. Damn it, I keep getting out.
I think LSU's fared
Want
well,
me.
obviously in the draft. Other teams around the SEC that have fared notably well. I think one of them is Tennessee. Tennessee, I don't think had any recruits up until I guess today get drafted.
Well, before we move on to other schools, I didn't know if you wanted to run
Okay.
down this list of guys from LSU that have been drafted that we would,
Okay, yeah.
you know, that probably aren't in the same boat as our guest, where they're coming back or coming to school. And so I didn't know if you want to run down that list or not.
Yes.
So obviously you go down because I think Fidel Ulloa is a name that
He's gone, I think.
Yeah, Fidel was, and then you saw Nasty Nate get drafted.
So Tommy's out, obviously gone. Luke Holman gone. Gay's jump gone. Both of them second round compensation pick. Thatcher third round. New York Yankees gone. Jared Jones, that's the question mark.
Interesting
Think
transfer
he's back.
portal from LSU to New York Yankees. Do not contact list.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, where are you going with that? I see what you're saying.
Jared Jones still on the list.
Jared Jones still on the list. You're an idiot. Griffin Herring, New York Yankees. I think he's gone. Fidel Ulloa, 7th round. Definitely, I think, gone. I mean, 7th round for him is good. You know? Nate Ackenhausen, round 10. Obviously, he's out. Braswell is returning. Guidry's hasn't get drafted. He's returning. Christian Little still hasn't gotten drafted yet. Obviously, he can't come back. Right?
that kind of surprised.
He can't, right?
me.
Yeah.
Right.
I know he
senior.
got injured, but like, dude, his stuff was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to get
Like
he'll get an opportunity somewhere. Connor Griffin. Oh, so that was just the guys that we had on the team. You want me to keep going down and look for
Yeah, I
recruits?
think so. Yeah, I think that's what people are interested in.
Connor Griffin, round 1, pick 9, gone. I think it's $6 million signing bonus.
It's like 6'2".
I think he's out.
That spot, yeah.
Obviously. Cam Kiminiti.
Who fell a little bit.
Yep, I think he's out too. William Schmidt is the next one. He is not out. He is in.
He is in.
What's up?
He's in it. He's actually here right now saying
He's up. He's in.
He is
Purple,
in it.
he is in.
The door is locked.
Boston Bateman, for second round, I would imagine he's gone too.
This is why I did it.
Cade Aaron Beatty is
There we
back.
go.
He has announced that he is coming back. He filed suit after you. Curiel was the first one of the 3 big ones to announce that he was going to come back to school and not go into the draft. And that third baseman, round 5, that's an interesting one for me.
Yeah.
I believe he's probably
Kale?
gone.
Yeah.
Kale?
I think he is too.
Yeah. I believe he's probably gone. But then you got, this is up until now. I don't know if they've been drafted since. I think the rest of the guys are going to make it. And then you got the portal guys and Luke Hayden.
I think he got drafted.
He got drafted.
Huh?
Pick 8.
Yeah.
So he's probably gone.
No, round 8.
Round 8.
I mean, no, round 8. Pick 239. And then Stanfield, Luis Hernandez, and Zach Cohen, I guess we're all draft eligible, have not gotten drafted. As far as this has been updated, I don't know when that was. But I think LSU fared really well. I think that they got more than they anticipated getting out of their recruiting class because it was such a highly rated class with really highly rated players. They've got to be stoked about that, and then obviously stoked to potentially get their big bopper in the middle of the lineup who you know you can pencil in for 20 plus this year, at least you would imagine.
And well, the other part of this as well I was interested in talking about a little bit was
Well, why don't you
With-
say that, then,
with-
Floyd? Say it with your chest instead of trying to beat around the bush.
I wanted you to get through the list. You're the host.
Okay.
I'm just over here navigating. I'm steering the ship. I just got a rudder. I don't have the wheel. But I was with the potential of Michael Braswell returning.
Well,
I
it
thought
seems
was
like
interesting.
he is.
Yeah, with Daniel Dickinson, I'm wondering how that infield
I
shapes
told
up.
you, third base. I think the whole plan the whole time was him going to third. Now, or Dickinson
Braswell at the third base.
going to third. Yeah.
I don't know why we keep saying that. Like, he came here playing shortstop from a different
I know.
school and played shortstop here. I'm not so sure he's moving off a shortstop for someone
I'm
else.
just
I
saying
think
it
you
from-
put him at short. And
I think he's staying at short. That's what I think. It's hard for me.
And how
This
good
wasn't
he
my
played.
thought.
And
This
how
is just what
good he
someone told me.
played
That's what you can
postseason.
see.
Like
Yeah.
he was good. Who's playing second?
Stephen Milam, you dolt.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Well, you've been naming so many guys. Like, I don't know. Did he get drafted? I don't know. Like,
First freshman ever drafted.
I'm joking. I know. I'm joking. I forgot. I'm sorry.
He's playing second, and then so that kid's either gonna play short, but they're gonna whichever one is which.
I was distracted by holding my mic.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't think
I'd hate to
clearly.
give you a piece of gum, too.
But then also, what was one of the biggest concerns we had, right, was, damn, they're not going to have a lot of experience, a lot of veteran dudes on the team, and that matters. Now you got you got a fifth-year guy in Braswell. You got Jared Jones coming back. You got Pearson out in the outfield.
His brother.
Like, now you have, what I'm talking about,
Oh, yeah.
veterans. Like, you have guys that, like, and then the freshmen are now who've played are all sophomores. Like, you kind of have a good mix, on this team of guys that have been here.
Is Pearson the only returning outfielder? Because Paxton left.
All the other freshmen.
Yeah, you still got Jake Brown.
Jake Brown.
He's still here, yeah.
And Larson.
Larson.
So
Did you watch LSU baseball this year?
Just create conversation, man. Just create conversation.
If we're so I won't
He's
feel
politicking when he
Which,
watches,
as
bro.
much
He
as
ain't-
as much as those
That's
guys, get out of here. As much as those guys played too. I mean, they're kind of. Yeah, they were freshmen, but dude. I mean, Brown and Larson played.
Those
a
guys
lot.
got a lot of playing time last year, so that's going to help them a ton going into what is their year two, 100%.
And for William, I think that's a huge benefit. Like, you walk into a locker room now where the culture is going to be continued on from a national championship team, guys that were a part of it, and then guys that got regional experience that were as close as you can be to hosting a super at home. Like, you're walking into a locker room that isn't all transfer guys or people that haven't been a part of a winning culture. You have guys that have played under it and can show you kind of the way of, like, this is how we do it here.
Dude, those guys last year were a lot better than what their record showed. I thought. I mean,
You
they
couldn't
had.
catch that many bad breaks if you tried.
I mean, it was like just bad break after bad break. Like they had talent.
The
Like a
03
lot of
Cubs.
good
And
players.
I think they showed that at the end of the year. They've kind of started figuring out.
Yeah, I think that's but we talked about that. Like, if you think about 2 years ago, the team that won it, what he just mentioned was they had a lot of that. They had a lot of guys that were guys, but they were already here. So when you brought in the Tommy Whites and you brought in some of these new guys, like, it didn't matter what they were going to give you. Nobody looked at them and said, lead us, we don't know what to do.
You just poured gas on the fire.
Yeah, you
Like,
just hopped in, and I think that's what's going to allow somebody
Right.
like him and this next year's team to be a lot like successful. Is that he's going to be able to walk in and just do what you do and not be like, oh, dude, please be the Messiah for us this year.
Right.
You may very well be the Messiah, but they're not going to ask you to do it from day one.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And that,
Save the
that's going to
program.
allow you. Yeah, it's going to allow you to kind of just fill in and fit in, and then you find your own shoes and you hit the ground running how you want. And I
Especially-
think good teams, they have those things. They have that kind of experience.
Yeah.
too.
I think that's a big thing. What?
And with him getting to pitch, and now you add 30 home runs in the lineup, like, I feel like
That's
that
a
would
huge
make
thing.
you feel pretty good about where you are.
That's what I
You
mean.
don't have to be perfect.
I think it's a good spot for him to be in. I think it's a good spot for LSU to be in. I think that their roster looks significantly different than what everybody anticipated it looking a month ago. And I think that's a good thing. And now they can get into it and start developing and doing all those other types of things because they didn't make it back to Omaha this year. And they're trying to rebuild that to get that way, but they're also going up against a lot of other teams in the SEC, right? And obviously LSU heavy, but we talk a lot around the country and around the SEC.
Tennessee is
Tennessee is
just
doing
robbed
really well
Ole
right
Miss
now.
blind.
They had a pretty good recruit transfer class and like experienced top end guys in the portal. They got them. Now, I know overall LSU has the number one transfer portal out there, but Tennessee selected a few guys that they needed, and then they didn't lose any up until today. I don't think they lost anybody in the draft in the recruiting side. Now you can take that one of two ways. They got lucky, and these guys that they recruited, ended up turning down money, or they're not as good as maybe They think they are. Or maybe they're diamonds in the rough. Who knows? But they seem like they're doing pretty well. SEC was well represented in the draft.
Yeah, of course.
Always.
Of course. SEC and ACC did well, but, I mean, that's expected.
3 of the top 5.
It's by far the 2 top premier baseball conferences in America, so I'm not surprised.
Was there a shock to you in the first?
The first shock to me had to be, I forget what number it was, but it had to be Nick Kurtz going
4
above Jack Caglione.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest shock to me. And it's not that I didn't think Kurtz is a good player. It's not that I don't think he's deserving of a top 5, maybe even top 10 pick. I thought he would go somewhere in the top 10. If you ask me if I'm looking for a first baseman and I know that bat and Jack Caglione was there, I was probably going to go there before Kurtz or anybody else that you possibly had in the nation.
You know what shocked me? The Ben Hess pick at 26.
Yeah, that one was
and we talked about it when their LSU was playing.
Go back to it. We talked about it all year, dude. We talked about it.
Yeah, too early.
You think?
Well, I think he's really good.
No. Listen, he's got talent. He's got big-time stuff. But I do think there is something to, one, we start you at the year as the Friday night guy and you don't succeed. Right. We move you down into Saturday or Sunday, wherever they moved him to, and he still kind of got hit around. I think his last 2 outings were really good for him. But, there's something to it to me when we put you out there and the stats don't meet the analytics, if you will.
Right. Ability, no doubt. But I think as what he's done in that level and been kind of inconsistent, I've seen a lot of guys with a lot of talent get drafted second round. I'm not saying he should fall into the 10th round, but second round and do the stuff that he's done and end up making it to the big leagues because they kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
But some teams see how talented he is, obviously,
yeah.
right? Hey, you've done it in the freshman year. I've seen you do it. We just got to get you more consistent. A lot of teams think they can coach that out of you. And Yankees got him at 26. I just wasn't expecting it. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. Just wasn't expecting it.
Well, because for me, when I look at it, I'm like, all right, well, what else is there? Okay, you're going to be playing
Braden Montgomery, 12th, the Red Sox, pretty good.
You're going to be playing in the premier conference. I want to see you perform in that conference. So if you're not, all right, what's going on here? That's kind of where I would go in that situation. Whereas, because the analytics for his stuff is goofy. It's off the charts. But why don't the stats meet this as well?
Right.
So for me, when I look at him, I'm like, I'm not sitting here saying he doesn't have a chance. It's just do I have to reach this high at him, or is there somebody else that that has analytics and the stats that kind of marry together that we can say is a little bit more proven at this point?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Your boy got drafted. Hagen Smith got drafted to your team.
They do well with pitchers. I'm sure he'll
lefty,
fly.
no lefty.
They have a history of
Sale up there.
I mean, you go Sale, you go Crochet, and now him. Those guys have those first two have flown through that system. I would imagine he'll probably do the same thing, and they'll probably go the route of getting him up there in the big leagues, into the bullpen. Next season, you'll start him get into the rotation and kind of roll with it like that. Because Crochet may be going at the deadline.
Who's the first one out of the draft, first round draft class that gets to the big leagues?
Who'd the Angels pick with their first pick?
Christian Moore.
Yeah, him.
You already asked this question. I told you I think it's Chase Burns.
I'm saying it again because I
think it's Chase Burns.
I agree with you.
The anger that are you kidding me?
I don't know.
He led the country in strikeouts per 9, I believe. Or that might have been Hagen Smith. He might have actually had the most strikeouts this year. But he pitches like a bullpen guy, but he's been stretched out and throws full games. Whoa. So if I can get him up there at all to be able to pitch out of the bullpen, same thing. And then next year I just put him into the rotation somewhere 2 or 3 behind Hunter Green. I'm rolling with that all day.
You know how electric he would be coming out of the pen?
He sits 99. He was averaging 99 all year as a starter. He's going to throw one-on-one out of the pen.
People pay to go see that.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, you've seen it this year a couple of times, but it's hard to make it to the big leagues that quick as a hitter. It's just hard. Yeah. Not saying they don't. A lot of people probably have deserved to be up there earlier than they are. It's just they make it now. They started to change that. Obviously, Wyatt Langford played not even half a season.
That's crazy.
And minor league baseball made a team out of camp. He had 8 home runs in spring training. So, obviously that happens. And then you have a couple other guys who've kind of made up. The first baseman for the Angels got called up the same year he got drafted. Wild. 2 years ago.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, you've seen it recently. But, I was looking at it, I was like, Christian Moore name stood out to me, but I do agree with you. I think it's Chase Burns. Any other news around the SEC of other teams that may have lost anybody or not lost anybody? You have any friends in the recruiting world that decided to go to school that we're not talking about?
A&M in Florida,
both lost like their shortstop in the class.
Like they're recruiting class.
Yeah, like they're
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah. So it seems like everybody kind of
Wake
fared.
Forest lost a few pitchers, but
Wake Forest had 3 of the top 10 picks.
Dude,
They
was
did.
that crazy?
Yeah.
And
That's crazy.
What did they not make it out of the regional? Was it regional? Yeah.
How does that happen? You just don't
It
swing
happens, dude. They
They
got
show up not at the right time.
Jeez.
they got stuck
It reminds me of Vanderbilt back in the day when they had Price and all of those dudes on that team, and they didn't get out of the regional at home.
against Notre
Michigan.
Dame. Oh no, Michigan. That's what it was. It was
Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, that was
Walk off grand slam,
brutal.
right?
I believe
Walk
so.
off grand
Yeah.
slam or a go ahead grand slam. One of those two types of things. Yeah. I forgot about that. All right, we told you we were gonna grill you about football.
Can I ask William a question before we go off?
You can. You're his
Too much
protector,
off
dude. You
topic.
can ask him whatever.
No,
you
it's
want.
just a question.
Whisper it to him.
Protector. So we didn't really talk about it much, but you did win a national championship this year in baseball, and y'all played like everywhere, like Florida, right? Y'all played a team out of Florida. Y'all played. Did y'all go to Alabama or Mississippi? Hoover. What was we were talking about competing earlier? What was your of all your outings? I mean, you had a good amount of starts, but what was probably the best competition you feel like you faced while you were in high school?
Oh God, like probably first game against West Monroe this year, like simply because I knew the whole team and they all knew me.
Right.
So like they knew what they were getting into. Like they knew my stuff. Like they knew me and like what bothers me and what doesn't. And like it was just like it's kind of like what I'm gonna do in the fall, just like pitching against my buddies. Like
Right.
I just finished playing summer ball with them like a month ago, and now I'm facing them when you're trying to go, I guess, win a national championship. But like, and just like first time pitching like in front of all the scouts, and like that's definitely different for me. And like just like having a lot of expectations for that game. I'd say like that was the hardest game, like environment and like
Right.
competition wise.
That's pretty cool too. That West Monroe, a freaking Louisiana school, and you go play teams in Florida, you go play teams in Alabama,
Right.
and like that's your
Right.
like. There's freaking good baseball here.
Yes, there
That's
is.
crazy.
Yes, it
And
is.
you're going to be one of the guys that's with you, obviously, or that you faced is Kirsten. Was that one of the guys in the lineup that you had to have circled? Like, do you see him coming in and, like, making a little bit of noise? Because, like we said, LSU has there's open opportunity here.
Right.
No, I wasn't worried about John that game.
Fair to say they know each other well. I guess.
But I don't know. We didn't play any out of state schools when I was there. But like the fact that you get to
Y'all
go.
were also the 21 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, we were. But I'm saying we weren't playing like even my last year there. No,
Dagger.
we were good. We were good.
Oh, 21
we started
seed
off
good.
slow, but we ended up, every guy on that team played college baseball. One's a big leaguer right now. We were really good. Josh Smith. So he played shortstop. He was starting shortstop for us. But I'm saying we played against really good competition too. But we didn't have the opportunity to go and travel like y'all did. And I feel like you getting on a bus and going play a big time, like what was that Florida team ranked? Like 2-5 in the second or fifth in the country?
West Monroe was 2 in the country at the time, and then we went to Hoover and we played the Parkview team from Georgia. They were top 10.
So like getting to go on a bus and play against like that competition and getting that experience is freaking huge for playing college ball. Like because you're going to do the same thing here. You're gonna get on a bus, you're gonna play and go play Texas A&M or Arkansas or Alabama, and you kind of had some of that experience already in high school. I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I feel like you're probably going to see a lot of the same guys like throughout your time at LSU. Like they're probably all, at least a few of them are going to be at other SEC schools. Be like, this is what we all grew up doing. Like we've been playing high level baseball for a long time.
It's crazy. Makes competing not seem like. Yeah, you're going to get to do it in the SEC and at LSU, but, like, dude, you've been going against some of the best players in the country since you were in high school.
Yeah, you're on
Summer circuit is crazy.
crazy. I bet.
Yeah, that was
So much different now, man. I mean, it was not like it was back then. It was like, hey, you're gonna go to a couple tournaments. Scouts are gonna be out there probably watching. Like perfect game was like there wasn't a lot of video. There wasn't a lot. You had to search for that stuff. Right now, it's all like easily found. Technology is different. Science is different. People understand things more. So like, y'all are developing so much earlier and understanding stuff that we didn't know until later. That
those kids also have so much more information. Y'all have so much more information on each other now at that age. And you know who you're facing. You know who's here. You know who's on that Florida team. Who's on this Georgia team. Who's on this California team. Like there's so much more.
We didn't know anybody
of that's available. And even if you did, you're like, oh, they have him ranked 6, but like I haven't seen a single swing he's doing.
Right. Dude, the craziest thing is I would see tweets of him like throwing in a perfect game showcase, and they would have your curveball RPMs.
Yeah, spin rate.
And I'm like,
it's crazy, dude.
Oh my god! If like I had no idea what that was when we were playing, like what spin rate was, and now you got people tweeting it. It's like, oh, he's got 3,200 RPMs on his curveball.
Right.
It's like, damn, that's really good. I mean, how hard is it to recruit these days?
Right.
I mean, it's like, look, this dude's throwing 99 with a freaking big league breaking ball.
The difference is, hey, can you let's locate that?
Yeah.
Right. That's the big. That's
we were just out there playing. Like,
yeah,
especially summer ball. Oh, you out there just playing.
You're just playing.
You're just out there playing. Blindly.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, these guys, there was no huddle. There was no perfect game, really. They were putting their stuff on VHS tape that Mom had.
But it's for hitters.
CDs.
It's for hitters, too, though. Like, you go look at the perfect, like, they got their exit velos and stuff.
Yeah.
Launch angle, exit velo, that's all at the showcase for hitters. Like, you could go there, hit BP, and every scout would know your average exit velo.
Dude, at the showcase, like, when I went to Phoenix, like, you throw a pitch, and then, like, everyone in the whole stadium turns around and looks at the big board in center field to, like, see what it was.
Jesus.
That's where you got the habit from.
Yeah, it used to be you go run, you go throw, you go play in a game, hit BP, great.
Yeah.
Now there's so much. I mean, you used to use your eyes. Now you get to you see it with your eyes, and it just proves you with the stats.
Yeah, like all your only metric would be what you ran in a 60, what your across the infield throw was, or from the outfield, and how many homers you hit in BP. Those are your only 3 measurables.
And did you get the guys out you faced, or get hits with the guys you had?
It's like unbelievable how many hit batters there are at showcases. Everyone, like even for me, like last year when I was doing showcases, like it was just a pull down like every pitch, because it means 1 inning. Like you probably get 10, 15 pitches maybe.
Yeah.
So like,
how'd you do in those? Shoved?
Typically pretty well.
Nice. Shoved. Hell yeah. You did. That bodes well for when you get there, come out the pin, bases loaded, run out, winning run on third, to come out there and say, I'm going to let it eat and know that you can get out the inning. You've done it in the showcases.
Hopefully.
Just a few more people in the stands.
Right.
More stakes.
He's played in front of a ton of people already. The Catholic High game was like Alex Box light. Like that thing started to grow more and more.
Was that cool?
There's people like
is that pretty cool?
in the standing room only.
Oh yeah.
That game he's talking about?
Which one?
No, it was just like
like all season.
Yeah, like it got exponentially like more and more people to where there's like videos.
Was the state championship in Alex Box? No,
it was in Sulphur.
It was in Sulphur. That's right.
They're screwing that up.
Why would they not have it in Alex Box?
This next year, like semifinals is at the home field. Like
instead of cooler.
Semifinals and finals being there, it's just semis. I mean, it's just the finals there. Yeah,
right.
I love that too.
Yeah,
dude, we did it at Tulane when we played, and it was great.
Ours was in North Louisiana.
Jeez.
Ours was at Fallbacher Field.
What?
Yeah, my freshman year.
Great acoustics.
My freshman year we played there. Actually, the funny part about it was my freshman year.
The echo off the
my freshman year, I'm playing left field, and we're playing John Curtis in the semifinals, and they got this cocky ass shortstop, little dude who can absolutely rake, and he's just playing with the most swagger I've ever seen. I'm like, bro, who is this dude?
You know what? I'll take that back. Keep going. Sorry.
Chris Jackson. Kicker.
Really?
Baller, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came here and played with him my freshman year, and goes over to third base and just
crazy.
rakes, bro. Yeah.
He was a good athlete.
Very good athlete.
He went
very underrated.
Game and got 3 hits in the game. The next game he hadn't played in 3 weeks.
Very good athlete, bro.
But I think they could do if they did the state championship at UL, they would sell out.
Yeah, they would. Of course they would. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll take that back. My first year, my freshman year was at Fallbacher, and then the next years it got moved to North Louisiana.
It was at ULM, right?
I think so.
That's where we played.
Yeah.
You know,
state champ.
My junior year, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we'll come to the finals." We lost 8-2 in the semis. So like, there was like 4 people there, and then grandparents.
Oh.
Hey, grandparents always show up.
Yeah, all day.
You can always
You can always rely on the seniors.
I got to see my baby.
You don't have a senior discount. I got my card.
Walkers everywhere.
Oh man.
You like football?
College.
You love like watching. Like you grew up watching LSU football, obviously.
I mean, I think this is the best environment in
Agreed.
the world.
Agreed.
We're 6 weeks away from the season. Like,
Are you a gamer?
Like, am I playing it?
Yeah.
I didn't bring anything. So, like, I haven't even been on my Xbox in like 2 or 3 weeks.
It's such a long way home too.
I don't know how you're gonna get there. You're just gonna have to wait until the fall.
How many
Mail
copies?
it.
How many copies are about to sell of College Football 25?
Oh, dude. I mean, it's
It's the most anticipated video game
ever maybe.
They have.
I feel like almost ever, man.
Yeah,
Dude, when's the
ever.
last one? Like 11?
14.
14.
And I only know it because it's just been flooding on my
Yeah.
timeline.
Is that crazy?
11
Who's on the cover?
years.
Florida?
No,
Michigan.
Florida?
Michigan. Shoestring. What's his name? Shoelace.
Shoelace. Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson.
He got fat.
Michigan.
Is he fat?
Florida was
Yeah.
on the cover of one of them.
Yeah, Tebow.
Yeah,
That
Tebow.
was
Tebow,
13.
yeah.
13.
There are 662,000 people currently online. That was an hour ago.
When does it drop?
It already
Midnight?
dropped.
Oh, it already dropped.
Yeah.
When did it drop then?
4
It
o'clock.
hasn't.
4 o'clock.
3
that's
o'clock
right.
It
here.
hasn't really. I think it was like an early release. I don't
Yeah,
think
if
that's
you-
like the full release.
So at least almost 700,000 people pre-ordered it.
Wow. That is nuts. Awesome.
Servers dropped within like
But-
15 minutes.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But it releases the same day that there's the SEC Media Day. So it's just like a kind of like a football frenzy for the next few days, which is really cool because we had great news with the Major League Baseball draft. And now you kind of shift our gears a little bit towards LSU football.
Aaron Anderson didn't sign up to be in the game at sub number 48 out there, so if
Oh,
you play
really?
it.
Why
That's,
didn't he?
I don't know. A lot of people from LSU didn't get the let out till late. Like Kyron Lacey wasn't in the game. He had to tweet him.
That's weird.
It was weird. But now they got most of LSU's roster in there. But Aaron Anderson, 48. I tried to put him in. I was like, that's not
That's like
him.
when Michael Jordan didn't put a name in the basketball game. It was just player.
Yeah, Barry
And you're-
Bonds.
You're like, you're definitely the best player on the team. I know who you are. I know
Player.
who you are.
99 everything.
Yeah.
who's the
like-
blacked out player that's 99? I don't know who this is.
I was like, obviously, I mean, we know who it is, and then you just go, everybody just go in there and type his whatever. But, yeah,
Like
sucks.
Barry Bonds.
Sucks that he's not in
John
there.
Yeah.
They had the college baseball game for a minute. They probably
They
could go
did.
back and do it now and be better.
Would you ask for money?
Not too
I
far
don't think
back.
you would have to ask for it. I think it's part of the process at this
I
point.
wasn't on it.
No, but I'm saying you'd get residuals if they made like they would probably make the
Yeah,
2009.
but it would do exactly what it did for football. Go back 10 years. Yeah. I'm out of that range.
I guess so.
As you know,
A smudge out of it.
William already
out.
told everyone that we're out of that range. So you know.
Yeah. But that was good. I mean, it's cool to see yourself in a video game. So it's kind of unfortunate that he didn't sign up. Hopefully it's under his own terms and just didn't maybe forget to sign up.
That'd be a tough thing to forget.
Yeah, to be honest,
Yeah.
like the one thing, like the only singular thing, like I am bummed about of not going pro is I don't get a card in the show.
You'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get there though. That's not going away.
You'll get there.
Hopefully.
That's not going
We're just
away.
delaying it a little bit.
All right.
Just gonna be a better card.
We're waiting
now.
for the card to be a little bit better. So
Yeah.
you're
What
good.
will the
You're good.
value of the William Schmidt 1/1 gold Bowman be in 3 years?
Are you a card guy?
No,
How'd you know
but
those like?
Yeah,
that was
I didn't
pretty
know
good.
any what
You
you're
kept
talking
pretty
about.
detailed on the-
I listen to a lot of conversations,
Okay.
so I know some card
Guys always
heads.
talking shop. You're
I'm not
He's
a-
always in business.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
not a
anything
card
about
head,
cards.
but I talk to a lot of guys. But I was actually talking to a guy a few weeks ago, and he had like 1/1 Paul Skeens gold Bowman or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, this card's worth $300,000 or whatever." And I was like, "Wow, you freaking kidding me?"
My cards are worth 3 cents.
Like, but seriously, like that's pretty
Bag of
crazy.
Doritos.
That, and you don't get to buy your own cards.
No.
No,
Like you don't get to say, "Oh, I want my." No,
No.
once you sign a card deal, it's
you
gone.
waive the rights. So
That's crazy.
guys end up like players will collect cards themselves. I want to say that
The
I don't want to say,
ego on some of you people.
I don't want to say
can
it's
you-
Trout.
but
I think
maybe
it's
it's an
Trout,
investment.
actually. I think Mike Trout.
A lot of people. A
collects-
lot of guys do it.
collects the major cards of himself because
It's
he pays for it.
Well,
but he
one,
gets it.
it's going to be very valuable.
yeah,
in the
yeah, it's
future.
cool.
You
I'm
should
sure he's
do
not
it.
doing it just because it's cool. I'm sure he understands. Like, yeah, this could be
Like
no,
if
but
I
like
had,
going forward.
if I had
Still
so many
awesome.
homers and become a Hall of Famer, like my card's worth.
Yeah.
These cards are gonna be worth a lot.
Those guys are making enough money anyway, where it doesn't really matter. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's a $1 million
Yeah, what's an
card
extra
for a guy
$1
that
million?
makes $500 million?
I could pass it to somebody.
My interpreter.
It's like 0.2% of his net worth, but I got it.
Well, if it's $1 million a day, it may be worth 10, and you'd like, dude, I made $10 million off of spending $5,000.
Do you have
like
your
a good
you
idea
should
to me?
Make your high school card. Put like a piece of your Catholic jersey in there, and then just hold on to it and do a drop.
William Schmidt High
It's
School
cool. National
signature.
champion. Yeah.
Fundraiser for the school.
They do college cards, huh? Or the Team USA cards. They have those.
Yeah. Those
They
will
do
go.
have those, yeah.
You'll get that.
Maybe that's how you get in the show.
No, that'll be because Team USA I think has a deal with Topps.
Mm-hmm. Or one of the companies.
Yeah, or Panini, whatever it is, and so you'll get your. That made you laugh. That tickled you a little bit. That tickled you a little bit there. The Panini card.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love that word.
I mean, somebody ate one for sure.
But yeah, so I think they have a deal. So like those cards will always get. There'll be like special drops, and like you'll sign them. And, like when you sign, you'll have all these clear things you sign. or whatever.
Bobby Witt just domed a kid in the outfield.
What's it? What is it? What is it? What's going on right now with the home run derby?
Commercial right now.
Who are the contestants?
What happened?
So one at a time. He just knocked a kid out, and his hat fell off.
You just spoke that into the existence.
Yeah, what
dude.
more?
He's been speaking it for the last 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, stop.
Oh, Aaron Judge is gonna kill a kid.
So morbid.
These
I'm
kids,
like, what's
these
wrong
kids
with
do
you?
get hit smashed every year. Like, listen to me. You play baseball. Listen. You've played baseball. Yeah. You can catch a ball coming in at some pretty good velo, but like when you're trying to catch a hooking line drive that's hit 112 miles an hour, those are hard.
And
to
you're
catch.
10.
Yeah.
Hard to catch as us baseball players.
Yeah.
Imagine being 10.
Yeah.
Some of them
Yeah.
are 14.
Don't they have some dads?
That
out
might
there
be-
I've seen
too? Is
a
it
high
all
school
kids?
catcher.
It's all
I've seen-
kids.
I've seen a high school catcher try to catch Kevin Gosman's bullpen and whiff the first fastball.
Yeah, me to get somebody. Like,
And
they called Milazzo.
that is literally you knowing this ball is coming at you. You know a fastball is coming at you, but not expecting the ball to have this much carry and whiff it.
Yeah. They
That's
should.
there.
They should have every dude that bashes guys on Twitter out there trying to catch home
Yes.
runs
Oh, that'd be
instead
great.
of kids.
Yeah, that'd be
Like
great.
all these Twitter trolls.
They were really I think
Keith
you'd actually
Law.
have a whole lot more hospital visits if that was the case.
That's the point.
No.
Like all the Twitter trolls.
There are so many more hospital
I was
cases.
talking to PQ the other day, and he
Yeah.
was like, he's always on Twitter, talking to
Oh,
people.
he's
you know,
everywhere.
he's everywhere on Twitter, like all these Twitter trolls, and I'm like, hey, how cool would it be if the Twitter trolls got to have a series in
Pros
a football
versus
game?
Joes.
He goes, bro, one play. Like, all it would take is one play to put the Twitter guys on there. He's like, they got no idea.
I would love. I think a really good.
Games.
I think a really
can't stand
good
Twitter
like
trolls.
promotion
Can't stand
would be if like they find a heckler in the stands every game and they pick him out
Yeah.
in baseball and say, "Hey, you getting that bat? Like
Yeah.
give him a bat, put some batting gloves on him, and say, all right, you got to face this guy one at bat." You know, I think that'd be fun. Obviously, it'll never happen because no pitcher,
Well,
no
what-
team's gonna say, "Let me go and throw
Yeah,
an
waste
extra
these
out."
bullets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, ain't never gonna happen.
Yeah, because then Joe Smith hits a double off.
Yeah,
that.
then
It's
what
like,
happens if you give up a hit off the guy?
10 day.
You know? Huh?
You had a 10-day contract.
I had a
I get your
guy-
game check.
I had a guy. I'm not saying names, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I played with him in AAA.
What's his name?
Yeah.
I don't tell my
And-
sources.
And he was a veteran guy, and he was off that day. And there's this guy, old man, like saying some outlandish stuff to us, and like the loudest guy in the stands, like outrageous. And it was just one of those days. It was just where everybody could hear it, and nobody could whatever. Breaking the game, we go out there on defense. I look to my left, and he is not next to me anymore. He runs in, changes, goes out into the stands, and goes and sits down next to this guy and basically wears him out. And, like, had a hoodie on, and nobody couldn't tell. And the guy was like, "Are you?" He's like, "No, but you can't." And then he went back down, came back, put his uniform back on, and sat right next to me on the railing 5 minutes later, like nothing happened. And I looked at him like, he's like, I just wore that motherfucker out. I was like, you left the game and did that? He goes, yep.
So
and
he was a pitcher.
Huh?
So he was a pitcher.
Nope. And next thing you know,
he had off day today.
the GM calls him, not the big league GM, the GM of the team calls him into the office. And he's like, hey, we were told by some fans that you went up in the stands and did whatever. And he was like, no, I didn't.
Why would I do that?
Why would I do that? Like,
Crazy?
you can go check the cameras. I was in the dugout the whole time. So he had his story, and he was next to me on the railing twice, like in that time frame.
Man,
And it was the most wild thing. Same guy actually won 50-50 raffle mid-game.
He should do the ESPY.
Oh, what?
Same guy was off that day, bought a 50-50 raffle on the road and won. Sit on the bench. And it was a big one too. It was like Thirsty Thursday. He won like $2,500.
And he collected it?
Oh yeah. He made the
Clubby?
He made the
Yeah.
clubby go and do it.
Yeah, the rest of mine is you got to collect every dollar you get down there.
Wild. Crazy. Now, vet, a lot of experience, right? Like, been all over the place in baseball. And so, very entertaining. I'll tell you off there.
It was just another day.
And you'd
for
be
that.
like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That's fine.
Once you
Just
find out
another
who it
day.
is.
Just another day for that dude.
Just another day. Great dude. But we got to this point of the conversation when we started talking about football, believe it or not. We talked about the video game, and I don't know how we got all the way around to that. But anything crazy, anything major happen at Media Days? I think Brian Kelly was very quotable. I think people were worried about it kind of being boring. But he's been very quotable. He had a couple analogies I think that were funny. He wore a cowboy hat on top of a steer.
Boy, did he. He has a penchant for going viral somehow. For somebody that...
And look, he's showing personality. He's doing different things.
I heard Nussmeier had a good day.
Nussmeier had a great day. I think
Nick Saban referred to LSU as the sleeping giant because of Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban knows exactly what can be built here at LSU because he did it, and he really says, like, you know what? I did all this at Alabama. I could have done it way easier if I stayed at LSU.
Right.
He knows that.
I think this football team, to me, is a lot like what you thought of LSU's baseball team preseason, where you're like, man, they got a lot of talent. I just don't know what I'm going to get yet. But I do think this team comes together a lot quicker simply because they probably got the best offensive line in the country, right? I think the defense is going to be vastly improved from what you saw last year.
Yep.
And
Couldn't
I
get
think
worse.
That's a very good point.
There you go.
Couldn't get worse.
So couldn't get any worse. It's going to be vastly improved from what you got last year, and you still have playmakers, and you have a quarterback who's been sitting in the same system, now has the same offensive coordinator who's been his quarterback coach for the last 2 years. I think that they kind of hit the ground running a little bit on offense, more than what people thought, and I think it's just going to be a better team than what people thought.
Hey, remind me. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What was LSU's in 2019? What was the mantra of how they were going to be that year?
People didn't know.
They didn't know.
Same thing.
Similar like this.
We kind of had this conversation the other day where we were
did.
like, I don't sit here and I'm thinking that they're going to have that type of year. Like, I don't. It's just no. I'm not saying that. But the last time we went into, it's been a while since we've had like legit hype before the season, and now I think about this year, like kind of how we looked at year 2 of Burrow, where I don't think we're going to get the top end of that, but people think, oh, new quarterback, best you'll get is 7 to 8 wins.
Right.
And I just don't think that's
I
the
don't
case.
consider him new, yeah.
I don't think that's the case
not,
simply
yeah.
because of someone who's been sitting in this offense for as long as he's been sitting in this offense. And he knows this offense, and I think he's now getting a chance to kind of flourish in his offense. I think you're going to get a very good team. And like I said, let's be honest, they haven't had an offensive line this good
Since 19. If not better.
I think it's better than 19.
I think it's more talented. I think 19 was good because of Joe. Like, better because of Joe.
This offensive line may be one of the best they've had in the
Ever.
last 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe ever.
Well, in the what's the offensive line award? The Joe
Moore
Award. They won that in 19.
Yep.
Okay, when you win a national championship, everybody wins a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
But they won that in 19. This year, you're looking at like you said, if not a better offensive line. And I think that's where it starts to have a really good team.
Right.
Because LSU's always had playmakers.
Yeah.
Always. We've never not had playmakers. It's just you got to let them be able to make plays. If you don't have a good offensive line, your playmakers can't go make plays.
That's what's so funny to me about people that like evaluate this conference is, okay, so if you're telling me, now defensively I know how you feel about how you feel, but I know the coaches they brought back in here and their ability to have a system, run disciplined system, and be able to coach you up, that automatically makes your defense way better. So that's why I already think the defense is going to be way better. But when you're sitting and looking at what they have offensively, listen, I don't care who you got throwing it and who you got catching it or who you got running it. If you can't block it up, it really don't matter. And they have that. Right. Probably to the tune of the best in the country.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the 4 stars and the 5 stars and the sometimes 3 stars that developed here are just all going to be bust?
Right.
At the skill position spots? No chance.
Well, I'll say this. Georgia has made the run they have because of the offensive line they have.
And the defensive
line. And the defensive line. Like, and everybody, like, yeah, Kirby Smart's a phenomenal coach, great coach. He don't wear cleats, though. He don't wear pads. He puts his teams together, but he's gotten there because of his O-line and D-line.
Yeah, how did Alabama do it for so long?
Yeah. Offensive line, defensive line. And then everybody's like, oh, Alabama's losing the Bama, whatever. Well, it's because their O-line was not as good as what they had.
Right.
I was talking about the LSU O-line. They'll probably have 2 first-round draft picks this year.
Yep.
And I said, has there ever been a team that had that? Guess who it was? Georgia.
Yeah, but has there ever been a team to have 2 first-round tackles come in the same year and start freshman, sophomore, junior? I don't know.
Georgia was the only team that had 2 offensive linemen go in the first round.
Right.
That the guy I was talking to that told me that. So I'm like, well, that's probably one of the reasons why they've been so good.
No doubt.
I mean, because like I said, it's so easy to find playmakers down here.
I truly think.
Everybody.
Right,
yeah. I mean, Georgia's got playmakers. We got
Everybody's
playmakers.
got
Alabama, they all got playmakers.
Everybody's
If they can't make the plays, I mean, you just got a bunch of guys. Like, look at Malik. Imagine, our O-line was good last year. Ton of young guys on the O-line. They were pretty good, but, damn, that dude's a hell of a playmaker. Imagine if he's in a system with an unbelievable O-line. Imagine if he plays this year.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
What I liked, we talk about the defense. So all this, right? Defensive line is going to be a little light, but they're going to be more talented. They're going to be coached up. They're actually going to have a defensive line coach.
2.
2 of them. Last year they had none for a while. This year they're going to have 2.
Unfucking believable.
You have maybe the most talented defensive player in the entire country on your defense. And what I found interesting, and I think when they announced who was going to media days, we were all trying to predict who it would be, and we were like, defensively they're probably going to take – we think, they should take Perkins, but we think they're going to take Greg Penn or Major Burns because they're the veteran guys, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, on par with what they normally do. And apparently Perkins thought the same thing. He said he was shocked when Brian Kelly came to ask him if he wanted to be a part of it. And I thought what was really cool, I talked about some of his quotes. He had a quote about why he brought Harold Perkins, and I think it's really cool. I didn't bring him here because of his importance on the field. I brought him here because I wanted you to see the man outside of the jersey. He's one of our best students. He has a 3.6 GPA. He's funny. He has a great personality outside of football. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for everybody to see who he is outside of football. And I was like, to me, that's great awareness by a coach to say, hey, this guy's our guy. He's super talented. He's earned the right based off the stuff he's done off the field for us to go there. And they don't look at him just as a talented guy. Get to know him. And I think that's going to give him more confidence to be the guy that he knows he is. I thought it was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, too. And, for him to acknowledge the type of person he is off the field and not just the player. But let's be honest, if I'm thinking about the player and who he's going to be, I think you're going to see a lot more and probably an upgraded version of what you saw from him his freshman year, man. And I think him getting back into the box and then him getting to rush in probably obvious passing downs and or third down passing downs, them using him in the best way and not using him in nickel situations and stuff like that. If he's able to get back to that and they play him that way, that alone makes this defense way better. And then I think you start to see a product where you're like, all right, this offense is, I won't say matching. I mean, defense is not matching the offense, but it's something that can play complementary football together.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the most talented guys on the field, both sides of the ball.
Yeah. He scored a touchdown last year, if you don't forget. He scored a touchdown. How crazy is that?
Like,
when he got the ball, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was so shocked. I thought it was Emory.
Was that Ole Miss?
I was like, how, Emory
That was the bowl
can't
game
play.
against Wisconsin.
Oh, it was
I
a
was
bowl
like,
game.
Emory tore his ACL, can't play.
Oh, he's back though.
I was like, how did he? And then it was Perkins. I was like, oh my god.
I'm telling you, I think he is one of the most talented guys on the field, both sides of the ball. I got a buddy at LSU, and he was telling me, he's like, bro, I'd put him back there to return punts. Like, I'd put him anywhere.
I would too.
I mean, like, he's got, and I think this year he'll be able to show even more, like, hey, this is how talented.
Well, they call
actually
Blake
am.
Baker the linebacker whisperer.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of like the thing, right? So, I don't think Harold Perkins could have asked for a better defensive coordinator, a guy who's going to be able to go and say, hey, you're playing my position. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to put you in a spot for you to succeed. And then you got on the outside Corey Raymond, who's done what he's done for his entire career. I think the defense is going to be good. It's going to put them in a lot better spot.
Hey, and I don't want to get off topic, but to talk about your guest, one of the funnest things you will do in college,
Life.
and playing at LSU, in life, is be a student athlete at LSU at football games.
Also, if it's
Unreal.
if it's a very long line, just duck a touch, because I don't know if you'll go in the same direction. But when we were coming, you're always.
I can't attest to
attest
any of
this.
this. Yeah,
Because
that-
you were on the field.
He was on the field, but the line to get in the student section is backed up. As an athlete, you just scoot around it, and they
Yeah.
bring you to a different entrance.
Yeah, you get your
so you
own
cut everybody
entrance line.
else, and they're like not happy because they've been waiting in line. It's probably hot, and then you get first row.
There's like a student section and there's an athlete section, and there are two different lines to get in the field. And I'm telling you, and you're sitting there with all the athletes from gymnastics, volleyball, golf, baseball, basketball. Everybody sits right there in that same section, and it is the funnest.
Can I tell you a funny story about a guy that
You know.
I know I played? So when he was
Jesus Christ.
when he was done playing, he went to pro ball, came back in the off season, and he was sitting. When you first come back, you always go back and sit with your boys in the student section. And so this is before iPhones. They had the flip phones, and you actually had a battery in your phone. And so,
Bro, what?
listen, so
There was iPhones when you were in college.
not my freshman year.
Yes, there was. I had an iPhone myself when you were in college.
fact
Oh,
check.
I didn't have an iPhone.
Fact check 'em.
Yes, there was.
I-
When did
Anyway.
the iPhone come out?
I had an
Okay,
iPhone
What was
myself when we were
born
in college.
first, William or the iPhone?
Okay, well, iPhones came out maybe my freshman,
think
maybe,
William,
maybe
maybe.
a year before I got to school. My point is, it wasn't like everyone had them. It wasn't like this.
Came out in 2007.
Okay, so like they were there for 1 year before I got. So it wasn't like a lot of people had them. Wasn't as most people had Razors or flip phones. Anyway.
BlackBerry.
So
when the BlackBerry
this
come out?
guy-
He had a BlackBerry.
Blackberries were a thing back
My first phone was a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
What was the game on it?
Brick Breaker.
Brick Breaker. Cool.
So
Snake.
anyway, this guy in the student section, about 3 minutes before the half ends, the band starts to go and walk in front of the student section to get ready for the halftime show. And every time the band would walk by with the drum, he would throw his phone off the drum.
Oh, I know who this guy is. Oh, I know.
Every time, dude. And it was funny every single time, right? And the band, and I hate to be disrespectful if you were watching this and they play the band. I'm sure that was annoying as shit. I get it. It probably is.
that's good clean fun.
He's
known
known
to
to
do
do
things
things like this.
That's good clean
Whenever
fun.
I've
right
been
there.
drinking all day and this happens and he does it, I've never seen him do it and he does it. I'm like, it's the funniest thing. Well, then now the season starts going on. The phone's been taking a lot of wear and tear, right? There's been a lot of force being hit. So one time he does at the end of the year. Same drummer, the phone hits, it explodes. And the drummer, this is his moment, he took the battery and took the phone and took off. So hey, this is my way. My buddy yells at the usher and says that he stole his phone. The usher goes and gets it from the band guy and gets the band guy in trouble and gives it back to my friend. And he puts his phone back
Hey,
off.
that's really funny.
Think of that.
Hey, what's really funny? Like
You know
OG
exactly what I'm talking about.
Of course I do.
OG
There's
cell
only one
phones.
person that does type of stuff like that.
He gets away with it.
Hey,
Oh, now I know who it is.
what's so funny is OG cell phones like didn't break. Like the
Yeah,
battery just
Like
popped
the,
out.
No,
Like
the battery, the screen didn't crack.
Shit was durable as hell.
they were durable
Just
as
got
hell.
put it back in.
Battery would ejecto, and then you just pop it back in, and
No
I'll
doubt.
Didn't even check the screen. Like, it's
No,
fine. It's
screen
fine.
never
But-
cracked.
Yeah.
It was like
Going-
made out of plastic.
Going to his
Glass.
point, like sitting there in that section of in that part of the student section for every home football game,
Dude.
awesome.
You might put a hole in the drum.
Like, look, we're talking.
Yeah,
we're
should
talking,
I try it?
Yeah.
Should I try
99.
I don't know if the iPhone has as much.
No, the
You'll be
problem
good.
is like still nobody was like videoing stuff. Even wasn't big then.
Oh,
Like,
No one did it. It's
Now,
just-
if you hum a phone at a drummer, like there'll be 3,000 videos of William Schmidt humming a phone. Back then, like nobody, people, that still wasn't even a thing.
You
Like,
didn't
we
even
didn't have
think
lights.
to do it,
We didn't have lights on our phone.
Yeah.
Like, it was dark.
You just turn the brightness up on the
Yeah,
screen.
Exactly. The
I had
brightness
a
is up.
friend in
Actually,
Pro
there's
Bowl.
no way to turn the brightness up and down.
I can honestly tell you the first time
Keep it on the
I
charger.
remember people doing stuff for videos. I had a friend in Pro Ball who we would go to like McDonald's and he would order like a McFlurry. He would be like, "Hey, sit in the passenger seat and video this." So I'd video it. He'd be in the driver's seat. He'd order a McFlurry. He'd get into the thing. They'd hand him the McFlurry and he would grab just the ice cream. And leave them with the cone and like take a big bite out of the ice cream and then just drive off.
And then you would just upload it on YouTube.
Yeah, and I just uploaded it and I'd be like, wow, this is great.
Then
That's
you-
the first time I thought. That was
Yeah.
the first time I ever
You
really.
just upload everything on YouTube, and then you had Vine.
Yeah.
Remember Vine. That was like the
Vine
first.
was
8
Reels
seconds.
before Reels. Or it was,
Vine was the beginning of like social media, kind of,
Yeah.
honestly.
Vine, and
Who
then
bought Vines? Who bought Vine?
Maybe, was it Facebook? I don't know. Somebody bought it and shut it down. They're like, I don't want this competition.
And then Reels came out, and Vine's like, wait, this is what we were doing. Why don't
Yeah.
you just
Whole
want to
time.
buy us and just make, like, because they're like, well, we can just do it better.
And then I don't even know. You couldn't even put.
Oh, Twitter
you
bought
couldn't
it.
even put videos
Twitter
on
bought it.
Closed
MySpace. It was
Wait,
just
no, you
on
couldn't.
MySpace. It
I
was
don't
like
think
a
so.
it was like a background
I
song
never
and
had- I
pictures.
never had a MySpace.
Yeah, you had a background song.
I never had a
I don't remember
MySpace.
mine.
Yeah,
know
that's the
MySpace?
big deal about MySpace is like you could put music on there
Yeah,
and
what's
make
it-
your own background. That was it. I didn't have
I
MySpace
didn't
either.
have a MySpace.
You have
Look
a-
at, he's
you have
like,
Zynga?
bro, y'all old as
No
dirt,
idea.
bro.
No idea.
The whole point of this conversation is that you're going to love being in the front row of the student
Dude.
section. You have a lot of memories. There's a lot.
I'm serious. That is like one of my
I mean,
best memories.
If there, you can find a video of Tyrann Matthew the punt return against Arkansas in 2011. He's coming into the student section. If you can find a video from the other end zone looking behind him, you can see some idiot banging up on the thing, and that's me.
Dude, this might sound really weird, but like I can smell that.
Oh, me too.
Like no, I'm serious. Like
Oh,
you know
me
how they
too.
say that your
I can't
best
wait.
memories, like
Yep.
you can literally
Your
still
senses.
your senses, like that has a distinct smell.
And bourbon.
Fourth quarter,
Nick
fourth
Saban
quarter.
said it.
Yeah.
You said you smell bourbon on the 50-yard line. Tiger, if you ever played in Tiger Stadium at night, you can smell a bourbon on the 50-yard line.
Fourth quarter, freaking
At the ESPYs.
in September, October,
November.
at LSU, like night game.
No.
Oh.
You
The
could just-
game this year when they're going to hopefully play Ole Miss, and they're both undefeated, that feeling right there.
Yeah, and look, the other, you know, like you go to LSU games growing up, and you'd go with a buddy or two, like you tailgate all day, and then you get to go in the game with like a friend or two buddies. You're literally in there with your whole team, all sitting in the same section. Like growing up, like it'd be like, all right, you get to go with a friend, or like you bring a friend to the game.
Don't act up.
Then don't act up. You go in there, you'd go run around tailgate, do whatever. You get to run around tailgate, and then you and every single one of your dogs from your baseball team are all sitting together. I mean, it's awesome.
Skip the line.
Yeah, skip the line, show up. It's like this is balling.
Because you'll see, I mean, I'm sure you have already, but there's people that are not student athletes that they sit in line all day. They don't tailgate. They just go get in the student section line, and they have like a little grill, and you're like,
Yes.
this isn't the way to
You
do it.
privileged. Unbelievable.
Then you get to go watch the game with all your buddies. I mean, that's
Or you can play in it, and then like Jared never get to experience that until after.
Sure, he smells the bourbon.
I don't even remember what bourbon smelled like at that point. So I don't know.
Yeah, Jared was a drinker. Didn't drink.
Should have just got closer to less.
Great point. Great point. All right. Did you get an update on the home run derby?
Oh, the first BlackBerry came out in 1999.
Oh yeah. Emails. That's when emails was like a thing. You know?
Oh, dude, if
You've
you had a
got mail,
BlackBerry,
deal.
you're probably running some sort of Ponzi scheme or like some sort of.
And then businesses continued to use it. It stayed in business because couldn't hack it, right?
you
That's
couldn't get all of
why
your content back.
Then they finally stopped it, like not long ago, like to where like Blackberries were not operational anymore, but because people still used it because it was just
Easy,
and you couldn't get injured.
Yeah, and always
very secure.
whoever like you saw like an older man when you were a kid that had a BlackBerry, like he's probably rich.
Imagine how recruiting changed when Blackberries came into play.
Oh.
Like sports recruiting, like college coaches going and recruiting. Like they used to send letters. Like you would literally
Oh,
get
getting faxes.
I used
like
to
letters,
letters,
actual letters. And then BlackBerry came along, and it was like, "Hey, I'm
gonna text you."
And then they had rules, so many rules.
Call
in
these
the
kids all
recruiting
day.
world, and now there's like no rules in recruiting. It's like, damn, this is wild, wild times.
Now there's Twitter.
Now there's Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just the
Instagram,
BlackBerry of the
TikTok.
internet.
Yeah, except it's not safe. Not safe on Twitter. You can get in anything there. All right,
Depends on your algorithm.
Lloyd. Let's get to the Seggies. Mistake of the day is brought to you by.
Oh, this is
Z
epic.
Place. I figured you had a good one today.
This, I think this is.
I thought you were gonna put Keith Law there, but
I didn't know if it was proper.
no, we're not gonna put that out there. But
I would like to
he's
put
a
him in the
Keith
outfield
Law.
for the home run derby.
Exactly. Say who's Keith Law. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect
Like,
No
response.
idea.
Huh?
I have no idea who that is.
Perfect. He's a doofus. He's an MLB guy.
Smooth brain.
He's just a doofus. Anyway,
Big fan of your
go
work.
ahead.
So here is, I believe this is in New Orleans, but there's a poor woman who gets into, she drops her car straight into a Popeyes. And
Just like, into the Popeyes.
I saw this video. Wow.
wild. And luckily, there's some innocent bystanders there to teach her, like, because if you don't want to go to jail, this is what you got to do. And she's like, I can't go to jail again. I'm not built for jail.
How does this happen? How do you?
Raw daylight.
Look at that.
Hammer drunk. This is like leaving the club in the morning.
Yeah.
They got the best Sprite in town.
That's a good mistake of the day right there.
Do you think that there's a suit where you could be like, it is called a drive-through?
No.
Yeah,
Technically.
no. You gotta have a hell of a lawyer who gets you on that.
Yeah, no. All right,
there's your
curtain
mistake
calls
of the
brought
day.
to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And
Me? What you got?
I'm gonna lead it off. Let me lead this one off. I like this one. I'll give you May 25th, 2023. That is a little over 400 days since the last time Paul Skeens has taken a L on the mound.
Wow.
Crazy.
Just
They
really
lost
let that
over
sink
here.
in.
Who did he lose to is the better question.
South Carolina?
He didn't. I thought he got rained out.
Iowa?
I thought he pitched in the SEC tournament. Did he not lose
Oh,
that?
did he get the loss there?
I think so.
I guess that's right. He did.
Against who?
South Carolina.
They threw him like 3 innings.
Yeah.
Oh, the rain. That was the rain delay.
No,
game.
that was at
no.
South Carolina.
That was at South
When he literally was
We
throwing
were there
3
for
innings
that.
in the in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
That's the last time he's taken.
And boy,
an
was
L.
South
That's
Carolina
crazy.
pumping their chest. Like, their fans were like, we got to Skeens.
I-
You didn't
I
see
want you to just think
Skeens.
about that. Like, how easy could it have been for him to go out there and throw you 11 punches, 2 runs, and get an L? No, it hasn't happened in over 400 days. That's incredible. Like I said, there hasn't been a better 18 months. I don't think anybody's been going through.
I think to expound on that, I don't think he's trailed in a game since then.
I don't know the answer to that.
I mean,
He
that's,
hasn't lost.
I don't know the answer to that either. But
Because it would have to be at LSU. I don't
That's
think
a
he
real
lost
stat.
since there.
That's crazy.
He's still like, wait, come on, that can't be real.
Wow.
That's real.
Lloyd, you got one?
I do. And it is from SEC Media Days. I mean, just look at this man.
No way.
Man, I feel like he's about to fall too in this thing.
No
huh?
way.
Yeah, I respect it.
Honestly, though, if I was making $10 million a year, I'd be doing the same shit.
I respect that he's doing that.
Like, he has no. He just like
I
he
respect
do whatever
it.
he wants.
I respect it.
This
Showing
is-
a little different side of him. So ever
Yeah,
since he's been at LSU.
I'm telling you, you stay in Louisiana long enough, it's gonna get you.
You have a
We
good
don't
time.
even like. We don't. That's not even a thing down here, though. Like,
No, I'm just talking about the attitude. You're like, I'll
Just
get on
being
that
fun.
fucking bull.
Like,
nobody
being
really
entertaining.
wears cowboy hats here.
No, it's SEC Media Days in Dallas, so I think that's why he's got the whole look.
And that's
But, I mean,
why-
he threw the tie over the shoulder. He's getting after
That's
it.
why the draft was held in the barn. So it felt
Literally.
like.
A barn.
Because it was in Dallas. They're trying to do the
Right.
cowboy thing. You have to walk
Right.
on the dirt.
Yeah,
which
it was
I
not-
still didn't think that was cool. That was your curtain call. My curtain call. And I've taught. This has been he's been my curtain call a few times. Because of how impressive he is and how genuine he is and how just like
Oh, appreciate you, bro.
he's a
Oh,
he's a just the love of the game and just kind of like that childlike but super athletic and super good. And it's Ellie De La Cruz. So his interaction at the All-Star game with Jeter is pretty awesome.
Do you want me to play it?
Yes, please.
This might get us.
But I grew up as a Jeter fan. He was my favorite player growing up.
Thank you. I appreciate
The same guy.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Real quick, let me just.
That's awesome.
How cool is that?
Poor A-Rod having to just wear it right
Yeah.
next to him.
He's been wearing it his whole life.
He's been getting
standing next to
cuckolded his
Jeter.
whole life.
He can't stand next to Jeter. He's just like, bro, I can't win next to this dude.
This is the same guy that learned how to speak English because he wanted to talk to the fans so the fans could understand them and he could understand them. Who also said he was going to learn how to speak a little bit of Japanese so he could talk to Ohtani at the All-Star game. To that guy who just shows genuine excitement, just, you know.
This man.
To me, that's awesome. That's what baseball's about. That's my current call. That's pretty cool.
Man's wearing out Duolingo. I got 30 more days on this free app. I'm going to learn Japanese real quick.
Wild. All right. That's all we got for you today. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. William, we appreciate you, dude. This was fun.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry you kept it the whole 2 hours. I told your boss that we were only going to get out for an
Jeez
hour.
and
But,
peace.
you know,
Just looking out for his
I'm
best
just
interest.
joking.
Man.
I'm glad you showed up, man. Pumped that you're at school. Looking forward to watching you play and watching you grow through your career. Hopefully, we can have you on here a few more times.
Hopefully.
Curious
we
to
got
see what-
3 years.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the next like.
Can't assume anything. Maybe
Yeah.
he didn't like it. Maybe he hated it and just didn't want to come back. You know, so can't assume anything. But we enjoyed it. We appreciate you. If you like watching us, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us, or you don't like seeing us but like listening to us, or anywhere you get your pods, we'll be back live in studio on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Talking
To maybe.
with maybe your dad.
Yeah.
I found out you and him have text message conversations at home.
He doesn't know this inside joke, so.
Jay Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently him and Jay are friends. They text on the side now.
Uncle Jay,
Papa J.
Papa Jay.
Papa J.
We're going to give him the...
Lloyd's
And
the
Mama
native, but
Maureen.
Lloyd goes to their
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Wild. But hopefully he's on
I know a winner
Wednesday
when I see one.
to talk his perspective on the draft. He has to be pretty excited about it. I'm sure he's maybe going to get more excited over the next 24 hours. But we will see. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.
Lloyd, you're trying to get into Jay's will.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Sorry.
Hey, Will.